All right, everybody, what is going on? And welcome back to Mets Weekly, as we are live at this very moment on YouTube and on X for watch-along coverage of the Mets versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, Game 3 of 162 during this regular season. Before we start, make sure to subscribe for live episodes of the Mets Weekly podcast following every single series of every single series for the season. For those of you watching or listening on playback and want to join the conversation in the future, make sure to turn on our post notifications to know when we go live. Make sure to follow Mets Weekly on X, TikTok, follow us individually. All the links are down below in the description. But what is going on, guys? Apologies for starting this watch along a little bit late. Like I said before in the comment section, I had work until 2, so I got out of work, got home as quickly as I could, and yeah, right now the Mets are tied right now. They have a chance to score right here. Luis Torrens over here batting here with men on first and second. Obviously, Marcus Semien did a nice job driving in the tying run via sacrifice fly. Noel McLean on the mound for the Mets. He had a little bit of a rough first inning. I'll go over that quickly, but settled in nicely in the second inning. But guys, how's everyone doing? And obviously we do have the lineups here, so just gonna read that out, even though you guys already know. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, leading off and playing center field, it's going to be O'Neill Cruz. Batting second and playing second, Brandon Lau. Batting third and playing left field, Matt Reynolds. Batting fourth and playing first base, it's going to be Ryan O'Hearn. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, it's going to be Triolo. Batting sixth and playing first base, Spencer Horowitz. Batting seventh playing third base, Nick Gonzalez. Batting eighth and catching, it's going to be Davis. And then batting ninth and playing left field, or playing right field for them Reynolds, I think, is playing right field. And then for left field for the Pirates, it's going to be Jake Magnum. On the mound for the Pirates, it's going to be Mlodzinski. For the Mets, a little bit of a different configuration in terms of defensively, but the names pretty much stay the same except for one change. Leading off and playing shortstop, Francisco Lindor. Batting second and playing left field is going to be Juan Soto. Batting third and playing third base, Bo Bichette. Batting fourth and DHing today, it's going to be Jorge Polanco. Batting fifth and playing center field, it's going to be Robert. Batting sixth and playing first base, Brett Beatty. Batting seventh and playing second base, Marcus Semien. Batting eighth and playing right field, Carson Bench. And behind the plate, the only change in terms of name-wise, it's going to be Luis Torrens in for Francisco Alvarez. And on the mound for the New York Mets, it's going to be Noel McLean. But obviously, Mets are not able to take the lead in that inning. But yeah, guys, just a little quick rundown of the game. Obviously, McLean started off a little bit shaky. Had a little bit of trouble locating both his fastball and his sweeper for the strike zone. Walked both O'Neill Cruz and Brandon Lau to start the game. Got Brian Reynolds to strike out. Ryan O'Hearn had a single into left field, which allowed O'Neill Cruz to come home and score the opening run of the game. But then he got Jared Triolo to fly out, and then Spencer Horowitz to line out. Mlodzinski would then have a good 1-2-3 first inning, as he got Lindor, Soto, and Bo Bichette all to strike out. And then we moved on to the second inning. Like I said, Noel McLean, he settled in, got Nick Gonzalez to strike out, got Henry Davis to ground out, and got Jake Magnum to strike out. And then, as we said, as you get to the bottom of the second, we just saw this inning play out. Jorge Polanco grounded out, a nice single there by Luis Robert. Brett Beatty then hit a single. Robert would move on to third via that single. Marcus Semien then had a deep sacrifice fly, which allowed Robert to come in to score to tie up the game. Carson Bench then was able to get the first base via an error by the Pirates, and then Luis Torrens was called out on strikes to end that inning. But yes, guys, we are all officially now caught up. I will just update the scoreboard for you guys, so now we can get officially all caught up with everything. And then we will continue on with this watch along, and then I will address your guys' comments in a second. But Noel McLean in here to start the third inning, gets ahead of O'Neill Cruz 0-1, drops that changeup in, is quickly ahead of O'Neill Cruz 0-2. All right, here is the 0-2 pitch from McLean. Sweeper misses outside, 1-2. Okay, let me just get everything. The 1-2 pitch. McLean again misses with that sweeper low and away. 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch. O'Neill Cruz grounds that ball up the middle, fielded cleanly by Semien over to first base. Beatty with a nice play, and that is the first out of the third inning. But Tony, thank you. Yep. Good recovery by McLean, 100% Pantries. Tony, Pantries, what is going on? BBA, what is going on? Yep, 1-1. Work was actually good today. It was solid. It wasn't busy at all, so nice, easy day. Does Brett Beatty, NG, what is going on? Does Brett Beatty do over or under 2.5 TikTok dances at first base today? I don't know. I'm gonna hit the under on that one for today. Maybe he proves me wrong. McLean gets ahead of Brandon Lau with a nice fastball, 0-1. Yeah. Hornet, what is going on? Tony, the movement on each pitch is so fucking sick. Yeah, McLean's got elite movement on his stuff. Obviously, it did come back to hurt him a little bit in that first inning because he just didn't have enough control really of both his sinker and his fastball. Kept missing, especially on that fastball on the arm side. Had a lot of run, but was able to get under control of it. After he got a little nice mound visit from our pitching coach. So yeah, nice to see that a pitching coach actually goes out there and actually calms the pitcher down before bad stuff actually starts to happen. All right, McLean could not get Lau to swing there. 2-2 as he misses with the curveball. Yes, a proactive pitching coach, NG. That is something that we have not been familiar with over the past couple years with the Mets, because we know that Jeremy Hefner does not do that. But yeah, thankfully now we have a pitching coach that actually does that. Lau gets under that, but that might be enough to carry, and that's gonna go. Brandon Lau, who's been a thorn in the Mets side this whole series so far, of course, had the 2 home runs in opening day, but he takes Nolan McLean deep there out to right field, and the Pirates jump out ahead to a 2-1 lead. Yeah, again, off the bat, it kind of looked like he got under it. I agree, Pantries. The wind definitely helped carry it out. That's the second time this series that the wind has helped the Brandon Lau homer get out. So Pirates jump out to a 2-1 lead right there. I mean, maybe off the bat there. I mean, yeah, just bad pitch. Sweeper or cutter just came back right over the middle. Good piece of hitting by Brandon Lau. But yeah, Pirates take a 2-1 lead there. Brian Reynolds now grounds out. Over to Marcus Semien. Throw over to first base. Brett Beatty records that out. 2-1. 2 outs. All right, let me just get the scoreboard updated for you guys. All right, McLean now in against Ryan O'Hearn. First pitch is fouled off, 0-1. Yeah, I agree. We know what this Mets offense is capable of. We saw it in Game 1. Obviously, it took them a little bit of time. I mean, I say a little bit of time. It took them literally till the end of the game to get anything going offensively. But listen, Carmen Bojinski. Listen, does he have okay stuff? Sure, but this lineup should be hitting well off of him. So I expect that this lineup can get more than 2 runs this game. Hopefully McLean just is able to settle in, doesn't give up any more runs this game. Maybe he gives up another run, but still, even if he gives up another run and it's 3 runs, this Mets offense should be able to overcome that. Sinker unable to catch the corner, 2-1 count on Ryan O'Hearn. The 2-1 pitch to O'Hearn, beautiful sweeper there or curveball. Gets him to swing and miss at that. Count is now a 2-2. The offense is already doing better than yesterday, so there's no excuse that they can't tie it in the next inning or two. 100% NG. I think I'd still be happy if McLean goes 6 innings, 4 runs. I mean, and he misses with that a changeup inside, 3-2 count. I wouldn't love if he gives up 4 runs. I would, if he gives us 6 innings, I would fully take that. I don't know if he'll be able to give us 6 innings just because it's his first start. I don't know how high his pitch count's gonna be necessarily. We saw Peralta get pulled around 80 pitches. Same with Peterson yesterday. O'Hearn's gonna hit that ball right up the middle. That's gonna be another base hit for the Pirates. Robert bobbles a little bit, but he's able to throw that back in. O'Hearn stays at first base. Pirates have another base runner in this inning. Yeah, it's a pitch count that probably, good piece of hitting there by O'Hearn. McLean just threw that pitch and just too much plate. All right. McLean against Triolo. Fastball misses high and away. 1-0. Oof. Oh, and sweeper nicks him. And Triolo will walk over to first base, courtesy of a hit by pitch. So now the Pirates have first and second with 2 outs. Hornet not able to watch at the moment as McLean struggling. He struggled a little bit in the first inning, specifically with his command of both his fastball and his sweeper. The fastball was mainly, he was trying to, mainly hit that outside corner, and it just kept missing off the plate. He ended up making an adjustment, and then he looked a little bit better. Obviously, gave up the run in the first inning. Second inning, he came out, had a quick 1-2-3 inning, and then this third inning, he retired the first batter. Brandon Lau ended up hitting a home run. Just took a bad pitch over the wall. Obviously, I think it did get helped a little bit by the wind, but he got the second out, and then he gave up a hit to Ryan O'Hearn, and then just ended up hitting Trollo with a pitch. So he's been a little shaky. I don't want to say he's been fully struggling, but he hasn't been sharp necessarily. I'll say that. Have all the WBC pitchers been asked? Skeens. Obviously Skeens had a terrible outing on opening day. I don't know how Skubal did in his first outing, but obviously we'll see Clay Holmes pitch on tomorrow in St. Louis, so we'll see obviously how he does. But I'm not really sure how all the WC pitchers have done so far. Other than so far with McLean and then obviously Skeens. All right, McLean gets ahead of Spencer Horowitz there, 0-1 count. Come on, Nolan, settle down, man. The 0-1 pitch, sinker catches the lower part of the plate, 0-2. All right, 0-2 count by McLean. Sweeper gets him swinging, and McLean is able to escape out of the jam. So McLean obviously gives the solo shot there to Brandon Lau, but then maneuvers out of a little bit of a jam via Ryan O'Hearn single and hitting Spencer Horowitz with a pitch. So Pirates lead 2-1 after the top of the third, and now the Mets bats will come up to hit to try and see if they can tie this game. And then we'll have Terrence be the last out. So the top of the order will lead off. It's going to be Lindor, Soto, and then Bichette. So let's see if the Mets can get some runs here. Yep, beautiful pitch there by McLean. 60 pitches through 3 innings. Yeah, I think, listen, we might be lucky if he gets through 5, which at least the bullpen, which I don't know, the bullpen usage is going to be interesting this game because obviously, Tobias Myers went multiple innings on opening day. He had the off day. He might be available to maybe pitch 1 or 2 innings. Garcia, he pitched both opening day and yesterday. He's not going to be available. A lot of the relievers yesterday didn't really throw a lot of innings, which is the thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how Mendoza and both Willard manage the bullpen today. Could you maybe use Minaya as a piggyback? Maybe you could. I don't know exactly, though, what the plan is for Minaya. I think they're trying to save him for like a Senga start or something, or maybe a Clay Holmes start tomorrow, which we know that both of them kind of do have, or at least last year, they've had their struggles with going deeper into games. So I don't imagine Minaya will be available this game. Maybe he is. Again, I'm not sure what the plan is, but we'll see. But here is Lindor now up at bat. Takes that curveball low and in. 1-0 count. Yeah, Pantry. Yeah, Pantries. Brosbon will definitely be available because he only threw like, I think he only threw like 11 pitches or something like that. But strike catches the outside part of the plate. 1-1 count. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball catches the top of the corner of the zone. 1-2 count. All right, the 1-2 count to Lindor. Fastball misses the outside corner of the plate. 2-2. Good take there by Lindor. I mean, listen, yeah, NG, there will be people like that because, of course, there will be, but I'm not concerned at all about McLean. Lindor lays off that curveball inside. Full count now. Come on, Francisco, let's go. Let's get that first hit of the year. Let's go. The full count pitch. And Lindor swings through that fastball. 1 out. Lindor so far has definitely struggled so far this year. I mean, we know that he's typically a slow starter. Obviously, he's got the handmate thing. But, yeah, he's really struggling right now to catch up to, especially the fastballs. He's had a lot of trouble, identifying the fastball and making good contact with that. Now here comes Soto, fouls off that fastball low and away, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Soto. Third base coach says he lays off on that curveball in the dirt, 1-1. All right, here's the 1-1 pitch to Soto. Fouls off that pitch, 1-2. Yeah, exactly, Pantry. So I'm not worried about McLean. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the lineup too. Obviously, like if this becomes a trend or the top three aren't hitting well, but I fully trust that they'll break out of this. Like I'm not too concerned. And it's only the third day of the season. Yeah, obviously it is cool. But yeah, McLean, I'm fine. I got I'm not worried about him. Soto fouls off that curveball, still 1-2. Mlodzinski into his windup, the pitch. Curveball in the dirt again, 2-2. Good take there by Soto. Let's go, Juan. Come on. Let's do some damage here, baby. The 2-2 pitch to Soto, and he swings and misses at that changeup or the splitter. And Mlodzinski has so far struck out Lindor twice, has struck out Soto twice, and now Bo Bichette's up, and he's struggled so far through the start of the year so far, even though it is a small sample size. But yeah, let's see if Bichette can kind of break out of his mini slump here. Obviously, got his first hit yesterday as a Met, but has definitely struggled to start the year so far. Slider catches the outside part of the plate, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Bichette. Fouls off that fastball. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Bichette. Fouls off that fastball high and in. 0-2. Yeah, that splitter changeup. It's definitely because it's on the broadcast that's a splitter. But yeah, so far he's getting a lot of swings and misses on that pitch. Mojinski into his windup. The pitch. Bichette lays off that cutter away. 1-2. Good take there by Bichette. Come on, Bo. Let's go. And Bichette swings and misses at that fastball on the outside part of the plate. And Mojinski, again, just like he did in the first inning, strikes out Lindor, Soto, and Bichette. Not a great start for the Mets offensively this game. BBA, so far I've noticed Bo swings and everything, a little concerning. I mean, listen, Bo is, we've seen from his time in Toronto, he's typically more of an aggressive hitter, so he'll swing at a lot of stuff, but he's definitely, so far through the early part of the season, he's definitely, overswung, because there's being aggressive and then there's, overswinging and just, not being patient enough. And Bichette's definitely, not being patient enough. He's definitely overswinging, at some of his pitches, just like on that, fastball that wasn't even, on the outside part of the plate. It missed. If he laid off, it would have been a ball. So, like I said, long term, I'm not concerned, but I do want to see Bo clean up his plate approach and his AB so far, because he has not had a lot of, great AB so far to start this year. I mean, he had the sac fly in the he had the sac fly in the first game of the series off Paul Skeens. He then had that long 13 pitch AB where he ended up striking out. He had that hit last night, and I think he had another decent AB yesterday, but he's definitely had a lot of ABs where it's been, just swinging very aggressively and just not making good contact on any pitches. So, like I said, I'm not concerned in the long run, but I do want to see him, clean up his ABs definitely. Yeah, like I said, yeah, too aggressive. Fully agree. We need Dante to call him and straighten him out. Maybe give him some hitting lessons off the tee or something. But yeah, like I said, I'm not too concerned in the long run, but it is definitely a little annoying right now because I want to see especially since Bo's making a lot of money. I mean, he's making $42 million. It is a short term deal, but you do want to see him produce. All right, McLean here up against Nick Gonzalez. He fouls off that sinker. Quickly head 0-1. Yeah, MG. Gary's talking about that on the broadcast. Yeah, not a great start by Brandon Sproat in his debut in Milwaukee. Oof. Sweeper just missed Nick Gonzalez there. I'm surprised that didn't, graze any part of, his body or his elbow. 1-1 count. Come on, Nolan, settle in here. Beautiful pitch there. 1-2. All right, McLean into his windup, the 1-2 pitch. Sweeper is bobbled by Nick Gonzalez, fielded cleanly by McLean over to Beatty. 1 out in the 4th. Good work there by McLean, and a nice fielding play as well to record that first out. Clay Holmes in the dugout right now. Obviously, like I said before, he will be pitching tomorrow, making his season debut in St. Louis. Had a really good appearance in his, like I said, one appearance in the WBC for Team USA. And let's see if that can carry over to a start tomorrow in St. Louis. McLean against Henry Davis. Swings at that sweeper, makes contact, and it's going to be a fly out to center field. Robert under it, makes the catch. 2 outs. So good work by McLean there. Quickly he gets 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And now Jake Mangum, the former New York Met prospect, will come up here to bat for the Pirates. First pitch there by McLean. Magnum fouls off that fastball in on his hands. 0-1. Ram Jam, what is going on? Yes, let's go Mets as always. Magnum struck out in his first AB. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Sweeper catches the top of the zone. 0-2. And McLean 1 strike away from quickly maneuvering through this inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch from McLean. Beautiful changeup. Beautiful kick change there by Noel McLean. Gets Jake Magnum to strike out. And a really quick inning of work there by Noel McLean. So we'll start the 5th. Hopefully he's able to get through the 5th. And then obviously we'll see how Mendoza and Willard want to handle the bullpen. Maybe they let him start the 6th inning. But we'll obviously see. But good work there by McLean. Got that ground out on Nick Gonzalez, got Henry Davis to fly out, and then obviously got Jake Magnum there to strike out to end the inning. That is what we like to see. All right, let me update the scoreboard for you guys. There we go. And yep, Ram Jam 100% bats need to wake up and get some runs for Noel McLean. Because right now, even though he hasn't been, his sharpest, he's at least been solid and decent. Like I said, he's only given up 2 runs to 4 innings. So the bats need to wake up. And obviously, after Bichette made the final out, because if you strike out, we'll have Polanco, Robert, and Beatty batting in the bottom of the 4th here for the Mets. So let's see if they can get anything going here. Tony, okay, we need runs here. I want Noel to get the win. 100%. Build up that resume for Noel McLean, because maybe he might make the All-Star game this year, which would be very nice to see for us Met fans. We also want to see him win Rookie of the Year, so which he is definitely one of the favorites, along with Benj, and obviously the Pirates will end up calling up Connor Griffin in a couple weeks, and obviously he'll be one of the favorites as well, maybe even the favorite to win NL Rookie of the Year, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Brett the Hitman Beatty, see what he does. Armand, what is going on? Hey, y'all, what is going on, man? All right, Polanco leading off here for the Mets. Lays off that fastball that misses wide. 1-0 count to Polanco. All right, let's go, Jorge. Let's get some men on base here. Let's get a couple runs. The 1-0 pitch by Mojinski. Polanco fouls off that splitter, 1-1. All right, the 1-1 count. Polanco. They called that a strike. Splitter catches the outside part of the plate, 1-2. All right, Mojinski ahead here of Polanco. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Polanco lays off that splitter in the dirt, 2-2. Good take there by Polanco. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Polanco. Takes that fastball low and away, 3-2. Good take. Let's go, Polanco. Get on base right here. Bichette, Hunt, what is going on? Bichette never used to strike out. Just proves the Mets have a terrible hitting coach system. I don't agree about that. And Polanco grounds that out. Lau will field that cleanly over to Horowitz. 1 out. I mean, yeah, listen, no, I'm not gonna sit here and disagree on that. Bichette definitely does look lost, but I wouldn't say that that the Mets hitting coaches are terrible right now because Bichette's struggling early in the year. Obviously, if a larger sample size occurs, then sure, maybe we can, reach that argument and have a discussion about that. But right now, I'm not entertaining that at all. I think, Bichette is good enough to figure it out on his own. I think he will. And the hitting coaches have done a good job so far with Robert, figure out his swing. They've done a good job with Alvarez so far. So Robert will bloop that into right field. That's going to be a base hit, and Robert will have his second hit of the day. So good piece of hitting there by Luis Robert, and the Mets have their have a base runner here in the bottom of the fourth. Second hit of the day by Robert. And he's had a very good start to the season so far. And now Brett Baty will come up. Yeah, they fired the whole. They fired the Chavez is gone. Both Chavez and Barnes got fired. They brought in Jeff Albert from St. Louis and Troy Snitker from Houston to be the well, Albert's the director of hitting, so he oversees everything, and then Troy Snitker is the main hitting coach, and I believe there's someone else underneath. His name is escaping my mind right now, but Baty takes that pitch, so he's ahead 1-0 on Wojcinski. The 1-0 pitch, fastball misses outside, 2-0. Pantry's got. I love Robert, so glad we tried. I like the Robert pickup. He has a lot of potential. Obviously, we saw what he did in 2023, and when he first came up with the White Sox. Obviously, like I said, in the stream, like when the Mets first traded for him, obviously there were concerns and risks to getting Robert, but the upside, if Robert does end up hitting, is so high that it's like, and especially like I said at that time, the Mets didn't give up anything of significant to get him. They gave up Acuna and took on all of his money. So, in my opinion, it was a no doubt trade. But Baty ahead here 3-0. I take here all the way. Wojcinski gets that fastball in the zone, 3-1. Robert reminds me of Marte, not as a player though. He looks like Marte a little. I mean, I don't really think they look alike, but Wojcinski gets that splitter in the zone. Full count here to Baty. Come on, Brett. Let's go. Got ahead. Get on base here. Wojcinski checks Robert over to first base. He gets back in safely. So that's one disengagement. Let's see if Robert maybe ends up stealing. Mets right here on the graphic. They have it. Third most steals in the National League last year with 147. The 3-2 pitch, and Baty lines that pitch up the middle. Robert got the good jump because he tried to steal, but Robert will move over to third base. Brett Baty there with a single, and the Mets have runners at the corners here via Brett Baty's single. Good piece of hitting there by Brett Baty. Got ahead to a 3-0 count. Wojcinski was able to get it back to a full count, but a good piece of hitting there by Brett Baty to line that pitch up the middle. And Robert, like I said, tried to steal there. And because he got the good jump, is able to move over to third base. So the Mets have runners at the corners here, and Marcus Semien will be up here with a chance to tie the ball game. Yep, Armand. Good piece of hitting there by Baty. Brett the Met and Robert carrying the offense this game. We'll have to see it. 100%. They are hitting. They're hitting very well right now. Oh, let me update the scoreboard for you guys with the hits. But yeah, Semien drove in the first Mets run with the sacrifice fly. Let's see if he could do it again. Here's the first pitch to Semien. Takes that fastball in the zone. 0-1. The Mets are fun. Listen, when the Mets are winning, they're fun to watch. When they're losing, it's not so much of a fun to watch, but I like this team overall. Semien lays off that splitter high. 1-1. Oh, you're ahead of me. Yeah, I'm watching on MLB TV right now. So yeah, just if you can, wait a little bit, but if you just spoil it, it is what it is. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Semien. Semien will foul that pitch off. So 1-2. I mean, Devin Williams was good last night, so I have trust that Devin Williams is going to be a decent, reliable closer for this Mets team. If he does it, listen, obviously you could move in a guy like Weaver there. Obviously he's shown closing ability in his time with the Yankees, but I have trust that Devin Williams will be at least reliable. Do I think he's going to be Edwin Diaz level? No. And Semien strikes on that high fastball. not a good piece of hitting there by Semien. Now 2 outs here for the Mets, and they need a hit here to drive in the tying run. Carson Bench will come up here to bat. Yeah, would have needed that sacrifice fly there, but yeah, not a good piece of hitting there by Semien. Bichette fouls off that high fastball, 0-1. Good cut. NG, not trying to overreact, but 0-2 from Lindor. Soto Bichette is not exactly what you want to see from your top three. What happened to Shame? I mean, listen, they're not really playing well right now, but they'll figure their stuff out. I'm not worried about any of them. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Bench. Takes that fastball high and away, 1-1. Edwin Diaz has been electric so far for the Dodgers. Yeah, Ocean, I do agree. Diaz has been very good so far for the Dodgers. Fastball misses up and away, 2-1 count. It's Carson Bench. Good take there by Carson. Oh yeah, Angie, don't get me started on that trumpet thing for the Dodgers. I mean, listen, Diaz left. Diaz lost all his aura. Oh, and Bench lifts that to left, but Magnum will get under that, and we'll record the final out of the inning. So the Mets get runs at the corners, but they are unable to drive in any runs, as Semien struck out and Bench flew out there to left field. Still 2-1 Pirates after 4. But yeah, like I was saying, NG, Diaz lost all of his aura when he went to LA to pitch for the Dodgers, but that trumpet thing, that trumpet intro that they do, it ain't it. It ain't it, man. They ruined any aura that it had left of it. What's your thoughts on the Semien for Nimmo trade? I liked it. I thought for Nimmo, it was time to move on from him. Obviously, he was part of that core that just couldn't get over the line. Started to decline a little bit. Obviously, his defense worsened in the outfield. And I mean, obviously, listen, when the Mets first signed him to that extension, or when they signed him in free agency in 2023 and brought him back, I mean, they signed him as a center fielder to an 8-year deal. And within a year of that deal, he already had to get moved over to the corners. So already that deal wasn't working out well for him. The bat was starting to become a little bit more inconsistent. And like I said, with the defense, it just wasn't working out. And that contract was getting worse and worse by the day. Obviously, you could look at Semien's deal and say he's older, so the contract's not as great either. But it's for less years. Nimmo had 5 years left on his deal compared to Semien's 3 years. And I believe Semien's just making a little bit more money, but, you're going to get that contract off the books quicker. And look, Semien, even though maybe he doesn't give you a lead offense anymore like he did for like Toronto and his years with the A's in Oakland, but he'll give you solid defense at second base, and he'll give you, good leadership presence. Obviously, we saw, that he's considered one of the top locker room guys and one of the top clubhouse guys, in Major League Baseball. And he was also one of the big factors and one of the big reasons why the Rangers won the World Series in 2023. So, you need guys like that in your clubhouse. So overall, I'm fine with the trade for, Nimmo for Semien. At the start of the game, Gary brought up that since Lindor's been a Met, he has 2 hits in the month of March when the season starts. Yeah, again, he's just not a fast starter. Semien deep. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a Gold Glover at second base. So, but here's McClain starting off O'Neill Cruz here with the changeup as he swings over that 0-1. But yeah, listen, I like Marcus Semien. He's a very good ball player, very versatile, and yeah, just has a lot of good. I like his under the hood numbers as well. He's a pull hitter, makes hard contact. McClain here with the 1-1 pitch. Sweeper catches the outside part of the plate, 1-2. Oh, they're going to challenge that, but that's a strike. Dumb challenge there by O'Neill Cruz as the Pirates lose one of their challenges there. Do you think the Mets? Is still an indoor team, or is it? I think both of them are the leaders. And I think it's fine to have two two guys, leading the clubhouse. Like, I think, having four guys like Lindor, Nimmo, Pete, and Soto all fighting for that number one spot, I think that's not really great to have. But, when you have, two guys like this beautiful, disgusting curveball there by McLean to get O'Neill Cruz swinging, one out here for the Mets here in the top of the fifth. But, yeah, I think having both having both Lindor and Soto, basically being the two main leaders, I think that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, Pantries, Pirates wasting the challenges, and yeah, disgusting curveball there. Now here's Brandon Lau here. Obviously hit a home run his last AB against McLean, and has 3 home runs so far in the series against the Mets. McLean misses with that changeup, low and away, 1-0. Do I wish they kept Alonso? Listen, I like Pete. If the contract was right, I would have brought him back. But with him looking for 5 years at the money, and that blooper is going to get in, that's going to fall in, and Brandon Lau, Bichette with a beautiful throw, but Lau was able to get into second base with a very nice dive in. And Brandon Lau with a little bloop hit is able to extend that to a double. But yeah, going back to Pete, listen, if the contract was right, I would have, been open to bringing him back. But for the contract he signed for, I think it was the right decision for the Mets to let him go. Again, he was part of a losing core. Like, I just thought it was time for him to move on. And yeah, Lau got in with that really nice, diving play at the second base. Mets will not challenge, so yeah, good piece of hitting and a good slide there into second base by Brandon Lau, as he continues to be a thorn in the Mets side in this series. McLean misses with that changeup, low and away to Reynolds, 1-0. McLean here with 75 pitches. I would imagine that this is going to be his last inning of work. But hopefully he could keep this a 2 or a 1-run game. McLean misses with that fastball, tailing away, 2-0. Yeah, Lau, obviously Evan's a big fan of Brandon Lau. I would have loved for the Mets to trade for Brandon Lau, but the Pirates, jumped on that trade, and they scooped him up. McLean wishes with that fastball up, so a 3-0 count to Brian Reynolds. I think this team is better with Alonso. Listen, obviously the power does help, but again, I wasn't comfortable giving him that contract. 3-0 pitch, sinker or fastball misses low. Reynolds did not challenge, which he should have. He would have been on walk clearly with that with the challenge there, but yeah, thanks, I guess. But 3-1 pitch. Fastball catches the zone. Full count now to Brian Reynolds. And as the Mets broadcast just mentioned, Gary Cohen just mentioned, Brazoban is warming up in the bullpen right now. Yeah, I agree. I think we definitely have more of a complete lineup right now. Mets should have traded or should have signed. Yeah, the Pirates traded for Lau, but yeah. Why is I'm sorry, but McLean strikes out Brian Reynolds there with a sweeper that did not catch the zone. And why is Brian Reynolds not challenging? Okay, sure. Listen, did they lose their challenges? Because I know Cruz wasted one of their challenges, but I still think they have one more left. Okay, listen, I won't complain. Oh, they used both. Okay, so I missed when they used their first challenge, but okay. Either way, I'll take that. Fastball misses low, 1-1. But the like I said, the umpire gives him the call, 1-1. Yeah, you loved it. McLean gets ahead of there of Ryan O'Hearn as he fouls off the changeup, 1-2. Winnie the Pooh, Step Bro collaborates, goes crazy. They always do, Andrew. Yeah, this umpire is terrible. Yeah, CB Buckner yesterday was terrible with his calls in the Reds and Red Sox game. And beautiful curveball there by Nolan McLean. Strikes out Ryan O'Hearn there to get out of the inning right there. Good work there by Nolan McLean as he escapes that little bit of a jam there after the Brandon Lau blue pit into left field. And now we head to the bottom of the fifth with the Mets looking to see if they could get anything going offensively. Yeah, it probably happened before I got on. Even though I was watching the game on my phone, and I don't recall them using their first challenge, but I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I will take it. Hell yeah, Nolan. Nice recovery, 100%. McLean might be... listen, Ocean, McLean is dirty. Like, he has ace potential. Spoiler, I am behind Step co-host. I meant he moved his bet right away after the call, so he couldn't call for one. Oh, okay. Terens used the challenge and won. Oh, okay. But yeah, Benjamin the last out, so it'll be Terens leading off for the Mets here in the bottom of the fifth, followed by Lindor and Soto. So hopefully the Mets can get something going here offensively because they desperately need some offense here. Tony, Matt, you do a great job of calling the games. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, guys. And of course, all of you guys, as always, anyone in the comments, watching and not commenting, whichever, as always, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, as always, to Mets Weekly. We're giving you, all season long, we're giving you these type of coverages, watch-alongs, post-games, obviously, the podcast after every series, breaking down and recapping everything. So, as always, we appreciate you guys' support. So, make sure, keep showing us love. And we will keep feeding you guys the content. But, Tony, appreciate that compliment, as always. So, now here's Terens leading up for the Mets. Lays off that pitch on the outside part of the plate, 1-0. Mojinski with the pitch. Fastball rides in, 1-1 as Terens fouls that pitch off. Armand, Lindor, Soto, and Bo need to use the challenge. It might help them break out of the slump. I mean, listen, we know Soto is going to use the challenges, Armand, because we know that how well of an eye he has at the plate. Obviously, Lindor and Bo, we'll see, if they end up using it. But Terens ends up grounding out there on that pitch. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. And now we're here back at the top of the order with Lindor hitting. Nice play there by Triolo as he fielded the ground ball and threw the ball over to Spencer Horwitz. Oh, Reinhold. And Lindor drives that ball deep into right field. That is going to go. Oh, no, that is off the wall. My apologies, guys. But Lindor with a nice piece of hitting there. He drives that pitch off the wall, and he will go into third base, and he is safe. Francisco Lindor dives into third base there with a triple, and just like that, the Mets have something going here in the bottom of the fifth. However, let's see if he did get in. Umpire called him safe, but let's see if the Pirates do end up challenging because it was a close play at third base. But a nice piece of hitting there by Lindor. Drives that ball out to right field, and it just didn't get enough of the wall. But, yeah, beautiful piece of hitting there by Lindor as he gets a triple here. And now Soto has a chance to type the ball game here. And he got in. He got in. The Pirates will not challenge. So now here is Juan Soto with a chance to tie up the ball game. First pitch to Soto, fastball high and away, 1-0. Hopefully that gets him out of the jam right here. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Soto. Takes that fastball on the outside part of the plate. 1-1. Yup, Lindor. Spursy supporter, what is going? Oh, man, you're a Tottenham fan, bro. You beat us in the Europa League final last year, but Jesus Christ, I feel bad for you guys. Fastball misses high and in, 2-1. I mean, you guys might get relegated this year with how bad you guys have been. But isn't baseball just rounders with a fancy bat? I mean, baseball did originate from England. Trey Lindor, let's go. Triple by Lindor, 100%. Cook, 100%. Soto swings and misses at that curveball, 2-2. Come on, Juan. Yep, come on, Soto. Nice hustle, and Pirates use their challenge. Oh, yeah, that's right. They did use their challenge. 2-2 pitch, and Soto drives that pitch into right field. That's going to get down, and the Mets will tie up the ball game. Juan Soto with a hit into right field, falls in for a base hit. Lindor comes in to score, and just like that, this ball game is tied at 2-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Hung a breaking ball there to Juan Soto, and he makes Boginski pay, and the Mets have tied up this ball game. Can't hang a pitch there to Soto. You know he's going to do damage on that pitch. And a nice piece of hitting there. Doesn't do too much. Just puts that ball into the outfield. Yup, just slider, sweeper, or that might even have been a curveball. Just hung and had way too much of the plate. And this ball game is all tied up at 2. But the Pirates will go to their bullpen here as they pull Boginski after 4 1/3 innings of works. 2 runs, 4 hits against Boginski. But yep, I'm just going to update the scoreboard here for you guys. It's going to come up here for a 2-2 ball game. Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. Pantries, fire emojis 100%. LFGM, Soto. Yep, beautiful swing, Ocean. Cruz used the challenge, and they lost. They have 1 left, and why? Yeah. That's what I was saying, because I don't remember the Pirates using one of their challenges early in the game. So yeah, they have 1 left. So then I don't know why. That Reynolds didn't use that to challenge. So, but. Listen, I'm not going to, I'm not, gonna, complain about that. Spursy supporter from the UK got a question. So schools here don't really have an elite sports system. How does it work in America? Do they all have big 3 sports with stadiums, or some only do? I mean, schools don't really have an elite sports system. So how does it work in America? Do they all have big 3 sports? Are you talking about like in college and stuff? I mean, like with some sports, if you're talking about college, some sports it depends. So like the big American football stadiums like Ohio State and stuff, Alabama, LSU, they have huge stadiums. Baseball, they don't really have huge stadiums. It's more kind of similar to minor league parks. Hockey kind of works the same way. Basketball kind of works the same way as well. But, in terms of like schools for like, college, like football, American football is the one where it's like they have the huge stadiums. But yeah, if that's what you meant, again, if not, then clarify for me another way. But I think that's what you meant. Okay, yeah, like high school. I mean, like bigger high schools, like, yeah, they'll like, not all high schools have like huge stadiums. Like, obviously they don't use like pro stadiums, but some high schools, depending on their budget, still have bigger stadiums compared to others. And yeah, obviously, if you could tell from the flag there on the left, on the right, I'm a United fan. So, but yeah, I do feel for you guys with Tottenham. I mean, if you guys go down, that's going to be such a terrible look for you guys. Mets challenge there. Bichette used one of his challenges. He'll lose that as that gets confirmed to strike. That's cool. Our skill system just says grass with 2 goalposts. I mean, listen, but you guys do it differently though with the in terms of like from the football side, like like European football, which I call soccer football because that's just for me. I can't call it soccer. But I mean, but you guys have the academy system, so you guys are able to produce elite talent with your guys' own ways. So we have our ways here in the States. You guys have your ways in Europe and stuff. So both work. Bichette swings and misses at that breaking ball, 1-2 count. Ramirez is in here. Yohan Ramirez is in the pitch here for the Pittsburgh Pirates, former Met. And as Armand says, certain states have big stadiums for high school, like Texas high schools have big stadiums for American football. Yeah. And Bichette, little bit of a tapper there to the pitcher. Ramirez fields that cleanly over to first base. Soto was able to move up to second base. So Bichette, with kind of a swinging bunt there, is able to move Soto up to second base, but he grounds out there. So 2 outs here, and Soto moves up to second base. Yeah, again, not a great swing decision there by Bichette. Just got tied up there. And just a little dribbler there to Ramirez. Really, academies aren't the best way. From looking at the outside in, I thought academies are more the better system because here in America we for like youth sports specifically, like you have to pay a lot of money like for travel and stuff. With the academies, like pretty much a lot of the things are covered for you. So I would think from looking from the inside in, it's better, but I mean, you live there, so maybe you would know a bit better compared to me, who lives in in New York. But that's just what I thought. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. All right, now here's Polanco with a 1-1 pitch. Curveball the changeup gets dropped in there. 1-2 count. And yeah, Pantries, I agree. Feels like Bo's trying to do a bit too much. Just has to relax. Because yeah, he's over swinging a lot right now. Bo, I swing at everything Bichette. The 1-2 pitch there to Polanco, and he swings and misses at that breaking ball out of the zone. So the Mets do top the game here at the bottom of the 5th, courtesy of a Juan Soto RBI single. But they are unable to get any more runs here, as now we head to the top of the 6th here, all tied up at 2-2. So at least the Mets were able to top the ball game here. McLean will exit the game now, and Brazoban will come in here to pitch. Let me just update the scoreboard for you guys. It depends if you're in the system. Ours is better. If you want to get spotted, it's not. A lot of academies won't take you if you're not above a certain age, or it's harder. Also, all academies have 95% auto cap. Yeah, that I didn't know. Players they don't know. They know won't make it. They just fill numbers. I mean, but also for the U.S. it's kind of similar because if you really can't afford to pay for travel and stuff, it's hard for you to get noticed unless like you're so good to which someone will offer to pay for you. But again, like you have to be like so good for that to happen. That's a rare occurrence. So listen, both systems have their positives, both have their flaws. I don't think both are perfect. All right, but we got the next 3 series here on SNY. Obviously, the Mets go to St. Louis tomorrow to start a 3-game set. Then they head to San Francisco for a 4-game set against the Giants, and then they're back home for a 3-game set against the Diamondbacks. But yep, here's Brazoban now on the mound here for the Mets as he quickly gets ahead of Ryan O'Hearn, 0-1, courtesy of a fouled ball pitch. Also, our system is heavily designed for one sport. Yours does many. That is true. That is very true. Oh, sorry, Chiolo's up here to hit for the Pirates. Chiolo grounds that over to Lindor. He fields that cleanly. Over to Beatty, 1 out. So nice work there by Brazoban, and very nice. That was played very nice by Lindor to record the first out. All right, here's the first pitch by Brazoban. Horowitz gets underneath it. Bichette will get under it. Will he make the catch? Little shaky, but Bichette is able to secure that. And 3 pitches, and just like that, quickly 2 outs for Brazoban. So good work by Brazoban here so far. So now here's Nick Gonzalez here for the Pirates. Fouls that fastball, 0-1. Oh, and look at that. Shamania is warming up in the bullpen, so I forgot who was that brought up that Mania might be available. But Gonzalez grounds that, fielded clean by Lindor over to Beatty, and a very nice quick inning of work there by Huascar Brazoban. 5 pitches and 3 quick outs as we now head to the bottom of the 6th. Let's see, who brought up that Mania might get used? Because you definitely deserve a shout out there. Boop, 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 boop. I'm trying to look back. Yeah, Patrice, you. So, credit to you, Patrice. You called it. Mania looks like he'll be using this ball game. Patrice might need Bo to start DHing sooner rather than later and have Beatty play third still early, so can change, but Bo super shaky so far. Yeah, I kind of said if you didn't catch it in the postgame last night, I kind of said that with Bo, you should do it like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, situationally, like, I think if you have a pitcher on the mound like Peterson, who's more of a ground ball pitcher, I think you should start Beatty at third because, you're probably going to get more ground balls. And then if it's more of a power pitcher like McLean or Freddie Peralta, you could use Bichette at third because he won't get as challenged. But listen, he's going to have to get used to it. Obviously, we saw before the game, I think it was Max Goodman. He posted a video of Bichette taking grounders at third base. He's just got to get used to it. And I think eventually he will. Right now he looks super shaky, which is expected because he is learning a new position. But I think he'll eventually get, used to it. Polanco's looked solid at first base, though. Yeah, Polanco's definitely looked better at first base compared to Bichette third. He's kind of bobbled someplace, but at least for the ones he's bobbled, he's been able to make the plays eventually. So yeah, I think both will be fine. Yep, it was you. Good work. 5-pitch inning by Brazoban, 100%. Armand, great inning of work by him. But now here's Robert leading off for the Mets here. Yohan Ramirez still on the mound here. That fastball misses low in the zone. So Robert is ahead 1-0 in the count. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Robert. Lays off that slider low in the zone. 2-0. Good take there by Robert. Here we go. 2-0. Robert lays off that fastball in on the hands. 3-0. Take all the way here, Luis. If you can get on, steal a base. Let's go. Fastball catches the zone. 3-1. All right, now you got the green light, Luis. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Robert. Fastball inside, and Luis Robert draws a walk, his third time on base today. 2 hits, 2 singles by Robert, and now a walk here in the bottom of the 6th. So, very good game here by Robert. He's definitely had a very strong start to the year so far. And yep, Pantries, very nice at bat here by Robert. So, I would imagine he's going to be sent here to steal. Brett Beatty now up. He's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So, let's see. Come on, Robert. Here's the pitch. Slider catches the zone. 0-1 count here to Beatty. And he usually doesn't walk, so when he does, it's a big deal. But, he's had, even though, Robert hasn't walked a ton so far to start the year, he's had a lot of good ABs. Beatty fouls off that fastball, and Ramirez is quickly ahead of him, 0-2. Come on, Brett, let's go. Beatty up right now, and then Semien is on deck. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Beatty. And terrible jump there by Robert. And Robert is caught stealing here. I mean, Davis with a good throw and good pop time, but Robert just got a terrible jump there. I mean, he was nowhere close. Yeah, it's not a good jump there by Luis Robert. 1-2 count here to Beatty. It hits him, but run that out. Not a great sequence there by the Mets. Not a great sequence there. That pitch hits Beatty, and he swung at a slider that freaking hit him. And then he gets thrown out at first base. Beatty shot. I don't know why Beatty just didn't run out of the gate. Like, 2 bad plays there in a row by the Mets. And now here's Marcus Semien here with nobody out. With nobody on and 2 outs. Fastball outside, does not catch the plate. 1-0. Well, no, but he swung at a pitch. So if you swing at a pitch and it still hits you, it's a live ball. It's only a dead ball if you don't swing at it. Slider catches the zone. 1-1. I mean, Robert, whatever. It is what it is. I call him Robert. It is what it is. Fastball does not catch the zone. 2-1. Obviously, Manaea, the Shonen warming up in the bullpen right here. Did he go after that? Yup. Not a good swing there. It's not a good swing decision there by Semien. Fastball went in on the hands, and he offered at it. 2-2 count. The 2-2 pitch to Semien, and he's going to fly that pitch out to left field. Magnum will come in, make the final out of the inning. So Semien flies out, and after a leadoff walk by Robert, the Mets are unable to get anything going this inning. We now head to the top of the 7th, where I would imagine Manaea is going to come out to start the 7th. Maybe they let Brosma start the 7th because he only had 5 pitches, but maybe also because he pitched last night. They just want to get him out after a quick inning, but we'll see what happens. But we head to the top of the 7th now. At least this home plate umpire is asking this first base umpire help on check swing. CB Buckner. CB Buckner's a clown anyway. He's a terrible umpire. Lulu, what is going on? Let's go Mets. 100% as always. Let's go Mets. Hopefully they end up winning this game, win this series. Right now they're not playing a pretty game, but they're tied up right now. But yeah, but they definitely need to clean up their style of play. Because the pitching is doing their part right now, but the offense has got to wake up. Obviously, they got their first run of the game, which tied it up currently, courtesy of a Marcus Semien sacrifice fly, and then they ended up getting their second run of the game on a Juan Soto RBI single, which again tied up the game at 2. So they haven't had to leave this game. They've had to come back and tie the game, on both times. So let's see if Manai is pitching right here, if he gives them a strong inning of work, and then hopefully the offense can come back up to hit and give the Mets a lead. Bob, what is going on? Have not seen you in the chat. New to the channel and a Blue Jays lifer. Welcome to the channel, Bob. I'm sure you're here to support and root on Bo Bichette. And Brosvant is on here to start the 7th inning as he quickly gets ahead of Henry Davis 0-1. Davis fouls off that fastball in on the zone. 0-2. So Brosvant is quickly ahead here of Henry Davis. Let's see if he can put him away here. Let's go, Brosvant. The 0-2 pitch. Changeup misses. Low and away. 1-2. Oh, enjoy your pod and thank you. Thank you for the support, Bob. Glad you enjoy the podcast and the streams. Henry Davis fouls off that changeup. Count still 1-2. $71 of you people watching the live stream. As always, thank you for your support. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. If anyone is watching on Twitter, go over to YouTube because it's easier to read the comments and they come through a bit quicker here on YouTube. So, but if you don't want to, that is your choice at the end of the day. But if you do want to get your stuff read, it is a bit easier to comment on YouTube instead of Twitter. But Davis fouls off that pitch again. Brosvant into his windup and changeup the cutter just misses. 2-2. But as always, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel. We appreciate all your guys' support here on Mets Weekly. Here's the 2-2 pitch by Brosvant, and Davis will line that into left field, but Soto will get under it to record the first out of the inning. 1 out. Henry Davis made good contact there, but not enough to leave the yard. Died at the warning track. So now here is Jake Mangum up for his third at-bat. Struck out his first 2 appearances in the 2nd and the 4th inning, respectively. Here's the first pitch here by Brosvant. Change up in the dirt, 1-0. Hardest hit balls today. Bench with the hardest hit ball at 108.9, followed by Beatty. Ball will be hit up the middle. Lindor feels that cleanly over to Beatty, and umpire called him out. Did Magnum beat that play out? Will the Pirates challenge it? Let's see. They're on the headset. Will they challenge it? Nope. Magnum is out at second base. That ball took a little bit of a weird hop and deflected, and Beatty with a close play there. As he caught that ball just at the top of the glove. He snow coned it, but yeah. But that's the second out of the inning, and Brosvant now will come out of this game. So great work here by Brosvant as he recorded 5 outs in this game. He only threw like 13, 14 pitches. So excellent work here by Huascar Brosvant, and now Sean Manaea will come into the game. Bob, again, we'll follow and wish your Mets a great season, and maybe we'll meet up. And Mets Blue Jays World Series, that certainly would be interesting. That would definitely be a good World Series. 2015, the Mets and Blue Jays could have met up in the World Series. Obviously, you guys lost to the Royals in the ALCS that year, but yeah, would definitely be a good matchup. Obviously, though, we if we do want to make the World Series, we are gonna have to beat the Dodgers to get there. But we'll see. Obviously, we still got a long way to go. It's only the third game of the season. But yep, guys, as always, if you guys have any questions, comments in the chat, feel free to comment away. I'm here to answer and interact with you guys, and also to watch this game with you guys. So don't be afraid. Keaton Thompson sitting behind home plate. But here's Shamanaya now on the mound. We'll obviously see what his velo was looking like, because obviously his velo was down in spring training by a lot. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Obviously, he's gonna have to work his way back up into a starting role, because right now you just can't trust him with the lack of velo to start games right now. But hopefully he makes himself useful in these reliever / long reliever role, and let's see if he can work himself back into a starting rotation spot. Lulu, Matt, I came on late to your stream. Will you be doing the post game? Yes, I will be doing the post game. So as always, we'll have the 9-minute break. We'll set up everything, and then we'll go right into the post game. All right, but Manaea quickly behind on Oneil Cruz 2-0. Manaea into his wind up the pitch. Fastball, again, 88, so his velo is down right now, but does catch his own, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch here by Manaea. And Cruz lines that ball into right field. Benj will cut it off, but Oneil Cruz will make it to first base courtesy of a single. Yeah, that's the concern with Manaea. Yeah, a bad pitch there by Manaea. Just got way too much of the plate. And, Cruz, even though he's a very streaky hitter, but if you give him a pitch right down the middle like that, he's going to make good contact with that. And he's on first base courtesy of a single. And yeah, BB, I agree with you. And yeah, you just see how much that the velo has dipped so far. Oh, Manaea checks over at first base, but Cruz gets back safely. So the first disengagement there from Manaea. But yeah, the velo dip is definitely a concern. Obviously, Manaea did have the loose elbow problem last year. I'm surprised he didn't get the surgery. I think he should have gotten the surgery, but listen, if he feels he doesn't need it, fine, but he better, if he feels that way, then the velo better come back. And relative, and Manaea, terrible. Just terrible. Terrible. Manaea threw over to first base, and it was a wild throw over to first base, and Oneil Cruz moves over to second base right there with just a wild throw. Terrible throw there by Manaea. So that's gonna be an error. So now Brandon Lau is up here with Oneil Cruz at second base. The Pirates have a man in scoring position. Manaea ahead 0-1. Here's the pitch. Lau holds up on the swing, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch gets him swinging at that sweeper, 1-2. Come on, Sean, put him away. Put him away, Sean. Let's go. The 1-2 pitch from Manaea, and Lau hits that sharply over to Semien, but he feels that cleanly over to first base. Side retired. Sean Manaea comes into the game, gives up the single to O'Neal Cruz. He was able to make it second and base courtesy of a throwing error, but Manaea is able to get Brandon Lau to ground out there to get out of the inning. To the bottom of the 7th we go. It's a miracle. Yeah, I don't have great confidence in Manaea right now, but like I said, hopefully, he's able to get his velo back up to somewhat where it was last year, and hopefully he could carve out a nice role in the bullpen so far. But yeah, I don't have, the greatest of confidence in Manaea right now on a whole. But like I said, hopefully he can make himself useful in this long relief / reliever role out of the bullpen for the time being. But let's see. It was. Let's see who he is. Yes, Semien made the final out of the inning, so Benj will lead off, followed by Terens, and then Lindor will bat third. I do wonder, though, as the later we get into this game, because we saw it yesterday. When Alvarez got on base late, they took him out for a pinch runner. I wonder if in a big spot, if Mendoza is willing to pinch hit Alvarez for Terens later in the game. I do wonder if that is a possibility, because I think in a certain scenario they should be definitely willing to go to Alvarez. In a big spot, if there's a situation where there's a couple runners on with like 1 out or something, or with 2 outs. Nice play by Semien. McPrick could not make. No, if McNeil would have probably fumbled that, and even Evan said that in the group chat right here. If that was McNeil, that ball probably gets through. But thankfully, we have the Gold Glover Marcus Semien at second base to make those plays. All right. Let's see if the Mets can get some runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Armand Manaea is being affected by those loose bodies. That's why his fastball velo is down. He should have gotten them removed in the 100% Armand. I agree with you. He should have gotten those loose bodies removed. He should have gotten the surgery. Again, why he did it, I don't know. But listen, if he thinks that he could get back to his velocity with those loose bodies still in there, then listen, he better, because that's way too big of a risk, pause to take. But here's Mason Montgomery now out of the bullpen for the Pirates as he faces Carson Bench, throws that fastball in the zone. Bench swings under it, and he's ahead of Bench 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Bench. Fastball low and away, 1-1. Come on, Carson, let's go. Bench 0 for 2, reached first base courtesy of an error in the second inning, and then flew out later in the game. But he swings over that fastball. Montgomery is ahead of him 1-2. Montgomery into his windup to pitch, and he gets Carson Bench to strike out as he swings through that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. One out here in the bottom of the 7th. Luis Torrens now up the bat for the Mets. Here's Torrens up here. Slider catches the zone. 0-1 count to Torrens. The 0-1 pitch. Did he go? Yup. First base umpire says Torrens swung. So Montgomery quickly ahead, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Torrens grounds that ball, and he's going to get on first base with a single, courtesy of a bunt single. So Luis Torrens doesn't make the hardest contact in the world, but little roller up the third base line, and he's on first base with a bunt single. So it's one of those hits where you hate them when they go against you, but you love them when they go for you. And we will certainly take those. Luis Torrens with a base hit right there, and now the Mets have a runner on first base, and now we go right to the top of the order here with Lindor. Lindor swings through that fastball. Montgomery ahead, 0-1. Lindor obviously had that triple in his last AB, and then was able to come around to score the tying run, courtesy of a Soto RBI single. Lindor calls time here. Yep, we take those pantries 100%. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Lindor. And Lindor lines that ball into right field. That's a base hit. And just like that, the Mets have runners at first and second. Francisco Lindor with his second hit of the game. And the Mets have something cooking here in the bottom of the seventh. And Juan Soto is up to bat with an RBI opportunity. Good piece of hitting there by Soto. Good piece of hitting there by Lindor. It was a fastball in, and he takes it to the opposite field. And the Mets have something cooking here in the seventh. Let's go, Juan. Let's go. Pitch here to Soto, and he fouls off that fastball, 0-1. Come on, Juan, let's go. The 0-1 pitch, and Soto fouls off that fastball. Montgomery ahead, 0-2. Come on, Juan. Tighten up here. Let's go. Choke up on the bat. Here's the pitch by Montgomery. Soto drives that ball out to right field, but that is going to be a foul ball. Oof. Soto made really good contact, made loud contact with that ball, but just foul. Well, not just foul, but the ball went foul. Come on, Juan, let's go. The 0-2 pitch to Soto. Good take there by Soto. Slider in the dirt, 1-2. Let's go, Juan, let's go. Go, the 1-2 pitch to Soto. Another good take there on the slider, low and away. 2-2. Let's go, Juan. Let's go. Make them work. Bo Bichette on deck for the Mets. Come on, Juan. Let's go. Another great take, and that ball gets away, and the runners will able to move up 90 feet each. So now the Mets have runners at second and third, and Juan Soto works that AB to a full count. Let's go, boys. Yep, get pantries, great running there. Let's go. Montgomery's trying to get Soto to chase, but he's holding off on those sliders low and away. Infield comes in. Soto fouls off that slider up in the zone. Still a full count. Let's go, Juan. Come on. Make him work. Make him work. Come on. Oh, terrible swing there by Soto. Terrible swing. Terrible. Come on, man. What is your feel on Bo? He's struggling so far. He's being a little bit too aggressive, but I think he'll snap out of it. Hopefully he gets an RBI single here in this AB. Yeah, not a great AB there, but the AB was great, but that swing decision was terrible. And Bo swings and misses at that slider in the dirt. 0-1. Yep, come on, Bo. Come on, Bo. Let's go. Snap out of it, man. Let's go. Bichette fouls that slider off. 0-2. Now, listen, I'll take a single. Come on, Bo. Come on, man. Come on, Bo. Let's go. The 0-2 pitch. And Bo Bichette strikes out, swinging to end the inning. Mets had runners on at second and third, and they are unable to bring anyone home. As Mason Montgomery gets both Soto and Bo Bichette to strike out swinging. Listen, I don't want to get too ahead of Bo and say that he sucks. I'm not going to say that, but I think for the next series they need to move him down the lineup a little bit, maybe to the 5 hole. Move Robert up. He's been hitting a lot better, but yeah, Bo needs to move down the lineup for now. Yeah, I agree, Armand. Flip-flop Bo and Robert. Maybe you want to hit Polanco in the 3 hole. You could do that also and have Polanco third, Polanco third, Robert fourth, and then Bichette fifth. But Bo needs to be moved down a couple spots in the lineup. Yeah, you could give Bo a DH day too, so he could focus on just hitting instead of third base. But I would just flip flop him and Robert for now. Because he's just been he's not even giving like I said, he's like had like 1 or 2 good ABs, but a lot of his ABs have just been non-competitive, just way too aggressive and just swinging and missing at a ton of pitches. But Manaea back out here for more work as he gets that fastball to touch the bottom part of the plate. 0-1. Manaea in here, and sweeper is fouled by Reynolds there, so Manaea quickly ahead 0-2. All right. Here's the 0-2 pitch here by Manaea. And fastball gets the top of the zone. Manaea there with the strike 3 called as he gets Brian Reynolds to strike out for the first out of the inning. Who could have predicted Bo being booed by Game 3? Crazy. I mean, listen, it's New York. I'm not going to boo him, but he hasn't been playing well. And yeah, I agree with Ricardo. Bo, he does not look good at all. All right, Manaea in up against Ryan O'Hearn. Sweeper misses outside, so O'Hearn is ahead 1-0. Manaea gets O'Hearn to swing and miss at that sweeper, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, sweeper misses inside, 2-1 count to O'Hearn. The 2-1 pitch, O'Hearn pops that pitch up, and that will go out of play. 2-2 count. All right, the 2-2 pitch, O'Hearn lays off that sweeper. Third base umpire say he didn't swing, so a full count now to Ryan O'Hearn. Full count now here to Ryan O'Hearn, and Manaea gets him swinging with the sweeper. Second strikeout of the inning, and quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Yep, Manaea's having a very good inning so far. Was able to strike out Reynolds and then got O'Hearn there with the pitch. And now here comes Jared Triolo up to hit. Manaea misses with that fastball up and away, 1-0. Isaac Matson warming up in the Pirates bullpen. Manaea misses with that changeup low, or with the fastball low and away, 2-0. Yeah, I mean it's only game 3 of the season. I won't super worry about Bo until, yeah, I mean if this continues for like a month plus, then yeah, you have a right to be worried. But it's early. I think he'll figure it out. But he's been playing like shit so far. Like there's no way to sugarcoat it. Manaea gets in that pitch for a strike, 2-1. Misses with that fastball low and middle of the plate and away, 3-1. And Armand, yeah, if Bo was struggling in June, yeah, then yeah, if he's struggling at that point, then yeah, you have every right to worry. Manaea behind 3-1, and he misses with that fastball high and away. That's going to be a walk, so Triolo gets on first base, courtesy of a walk. Horowitz was due to come up, but he will be called back, and the Pirates will look to pinch hit. Who will they bring in? It's going to be Nick York. Nick York will pinch hit here for Spencer Horowitz. Justin Willard coming out to the mound to talk to Sean Manaea, probably about strategy here against Nick York, which again, it is nice to see a pitching coach actually come out to talk strategy with the pitcher and not just leave him out to die. Hey, it is what it is, man. Yeah, Pantries, 100% agree. All right, but yep, as we said, Nick York pinch hitting here for Spencer Horowitz. Manaea will face the righty here. Triolo on first, courtesy of a walk. Manaea misses inside with that fastball, 1-0. I wonder if the Mets have anyone warming up here in the bullpen. Obviously, I can't see because not at the game. The 1-0 count here to Nick York. Misses with that fastball, 2-0. Carson's here, everybody.
Hi. Give me a second. There we go.
The 2-0 pitch. Nick York fouls off that sweeper, 2-1.
All right. I want to formally apologize because a few of the things on this lineup graphic are not correct. Some of the positions are mixed up. So let me just update it here. And I think we're correct.
Manaea misses with the changeup, with the changeup 3-1. Please tell me they have someone warmed up in the bullpen.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
The 3-1 pitch. Manaea misses high with the sweeper. Back-to-back walks here from Manaea.
Mr. Adrenaline over here. All right, Nicky York pinched it, hit it. All right.
All right. Now it's Nick Gonzalez up here with a chance to give the Pirates the lead. Manaea gets ahead with the fastball. 0-1. All right, and Evan just confirmed it since he's at the game. No one's warming up in the pen. Nice.
Okay.
The 0-1 pitch, and Manaea is able to get that. Semyon fields it cleanly over to Lindor. Manaea gets out of the jam.
Yay! Slay.
Very pooks. We head to the bottom of the 8th.
How's chat doing? How you guys doing? Exhaling hard.
The chat is not happy about Bo Bichette, I can tell you that much.
Okay. Well, neither am I. I'm definitely not liking what I'm saying. But hey. What are you going to do? We're going to support him. Maybe since he was supposed to be in Philly, we'll give him a standing ovation like Trey Turner and everything will be all good. Except we are not locked into like an 11-year contract, so
yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. We shouldn't be struggling against this team. That is true. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go completely crazy as of right now because I still think that there's growing pains they got to go through. But yeah, listen, it has not been a smooth series. We're going to obviously get into it on the podcast. But we will see, where this takes them. But there's a lot of encouraging signs we have seen so far from this opening series. So I'm not going to go insanely nuts over it. This is a new lineup. This is a new coaching staff. There's a lot new things. Basically, I'd say that the opening series had a little bit more of a reaction of me last year. Basically because we knew this team's MO for so long with that old team. So for now, I'm just letting it sit, letting it simmer. It's game 3 of 162. We've talked about it before. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. You can put out any cliche you want to put out there. Everyone has the right to be upset, especially if you're going out there in the cold and watching Bo Bichette swing at a bunch of shitty pitches. But I will say a lot of our batters have been swinging at some shitty pitches. But I do like the aggressiveness because I have not seen that much. I think I've seen it like once or twice. Guys staring at strike 3.
Yeah.
So it's a change.
The thing is, like, the weird thing is, like, some of the ABs have been good. It's just that final pitch that they choose to swing at. They're swinging at a lot of bad pitches.
Yeah. It's, again, they got to make the decision. The pitch rec's got to be better. The pitch selection's got to be better. I mean, that's pretty much it. But we've seen signs of it actually getting better and then making adjustments throughout the game. Like, we've seen some bad ABs from Polanco. like right here where he's up, and then we've seen some good ABs from him later on in the game. So again, it seems like adjustments are being made. It's just we're not seeing, the full length results yet. And people can boo all they want. Do what you need to do. Get your anger out.
Yeah, but Isaac Matson on here on the mound for the Pirates. Polanco up here at bat for the Mets. Matson's ahead 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Polanco lays off that fastball high and away, 2-2.
Madsen.
And yeah, I think, and like I was talking about with Bo earlier, it's not that, because Bo's always been an aggressive hitter. It's just right now he's being way too aggressive. Like, there's a difference between being aggressive and then just like swinging out of your shoes. But Polanco hits that out to left field. Magnum gets under that to record the first out of the inning.
All right. Montgomery.
And now Robert is up 2 for 2. Drew a walk in his last AB, and then was throughout trying to steal second base.
It's okay, Pooks. We forgive you.
Come on, Robert. Let's go.
Excuse me? It's Robert, okay?
I call him Robert.
Well, you'd be wrong then, okay?
No.
Excuse me?
All right.
How rude.
Evan said Weaver's up and warming up.
Oh yeah, we got sources from inside the game. I forgot.
Yeah. All right, fine. Robert fouls off that pitch 1-1.
I've been calling him Bobbert, so that's been my thing.
Fine.
Too early to
I'll
boo. Yeah. Well, you know what? Once fans get enough drinks in them, they'll do anything.
All right. The 1-1 pitch to Robert. Matson is able to get that curveball to catch the zone. 1-2.
All right. Come on.
Come on, Luis. The 1-2 pitch. And takes that fastball on the outside corner. Strike 3 call. 2 outs.
Like I just said, not many strike 3 calls, so thanks, Robert.
And now Brett Beatty will come up.
Yay!
Your favorite.
Yay!
He just want to be famous, man.
Do you want to go viral?
Or you just want to go viral. Here's the first pitch to Beatty. Lays off that fastball, but the ump calls it high strike. 0-1. Oh. He is TikTok, man. The 0-1 pitch. Beatty takes that fastball. 0-2.
Why does Robert's swing remind you of Marte? They're similar. Very compact. Line drive swing.
Luke Weaver warming up in the pen. He'll be on the pitch in the top of the 9th.
Daydream Weaver.
The 0-2 pitch to Beatty. Matson with a long hold into his windup.
Good take.
Fastball misses high and away. 1-2. Right. The 1-2 pitch to Beatty. And he swings and misses through that fastball. Strike 3. So Matson with a 1-2-3 inning of work. We head to the top of the 9th. Luke Weaver will take the mound for the Mets.
Dweaver.
And there will be Davis followed by Jake Magnum and then O'Neill Cruz for the 9th inning, unless they choose to pinch hit somebody.
All right.
Which we know Ozuna is on the bench today, so I would imagine maybe he gets used for Jake Magnum.
Maybe. Might be playing pretend there, but you never know.
Well, playing pretend can sometimes be fun.
I think it's fun too.
Yeah, Boo Weaver because of his Yankees bag. What a fake Mets player.
Fuck that guy. Weavers. So it's 8, 9, and 1. Show some respect, Weaver. You're not a Yankee anymore. Also called a product of being bored before spring training starts.
All right. Let's see if Weaver can give the Mets a scoreless inning there to get them to the bottom of the ninth.
Are you sure they're not? I don't think they're booing Bichette, to be honest. I think they're just chanting his name. Boo, you know.
Boo Bichette.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
and when the Mets get to the bottom of the ninth, I would assume, because Semion's going to hit, Benj will hit, I would assume they'll pinch hit Alvarez or Torrens.
likely. Yeah. Very likely. But we also have Mark Vientos and his swagginess.
Weaver with the first pitch
And
misses high and away, 1-0.
And his 2024 postseason, which we cherish forever and will never let go.
Weaver misses low and away, 2-0 to Henry Davis. Considering the teething problems, what are your expectations for the first 20 games? I mean, if they could
20 and 0.
Yeah, if they don't go 20-0, then just cancel the season. If they could go 14-8, oh no, I'm sorry, like I got my math wrong. If they go like 13-7, I'd take that. Or like 12-8, you know.
I just want a series win. That's what we're aiming for every time.
Yeah, just win series.
Win series.
Just don't be under 500 by the 20th game. I'll say that. 3-1 count. Weaver misses and walks Davis.
No.
Leadoff walks. Never want that.
No.
Jake Magnum will come up to hit unless they gonna pitch hit him.
The former Met farm piece or whatever.
Yes, no. Well, is he gonna hit? Yep. Magnum will come in to hit.
He's probably gonna bunt, right? He's likely gonna bunt, right?
Bichette.
Yeah.
Makes the throw over. Good play. 1 out.
Anybody's heart just sink for a split second?
Oh, mine did. It was like those plays when P used to ground them and he had to make the throw over to home plate. So
or the JD Javis when he used to charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
With the sack bunt, Henry Davis moves over to second base, and now O'Neal Cruz is up to bat.
Let's be cute here. Come on.
Come on, Lucas.
Let's be Pixie.
Here's the first pitch to O'Neal Cruz. Changeup misses, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch catches the outside part of the strike zone, 1-1. Good pitch there by Weaver. Weaver into his windup. The pitch. Misses with the changeup. Low. 2-1. Come on, Luke. Weaver steps off, having pitch com problems. Just use the fingers. Weaver steps off again.
Damn it! Mendoza's pissed. That's a disengagement.
Into his windup. Cruz swings and misses through that high fastball. 2-2. Well, yeah. Put him away. Put him away, Luke.
Come on.
The 2-2 pitch to Cruz. Fastball got him on the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 called. 2 men away. Beautiful, beautiful fastball location there by Luke Weaver.
Man, can he throw fastballs, man?
And now
20 inches of induced vertical break.
And now the man who's been the biggest thorn on the Mets side this entire series, Brandon Lau, is up.
Lau's 1 for 4 in his career against Weaver. 3 strikeouts.
Come on, Luke. Just goes after that changeup and swings over it. 0-1.
Walk him, to be honest. Dude, I am tired of him, man. Listen, Lau's a good hitter, all right? He's Pooks. He's one of Evan's Pooks, but he's annoying the shit out of me.
Misses with the changeup. 1-1. Come on, Luke.
High Lev Weaver.
Here's the 1-1. Misses away with that fastball. 2-1.
He's just missing arm side.
Brian Reynolds on deck here for the Pirates. The 2-1 pitch to Lau. Misses inside with that fastball. 3-1. Dennis Santana up here for the Pirates. Looks like he's going to pitch his third. He's going to pitch in all three games in the series. 3-1 pitch. Fouls off that changeup. Full count.
Well, that's where you want the changeup.
Here we go.
Weaver.
Full count to Brandon Lau.
Yay. Get on your feet, everyone.
Weaver steps off. Come on, get behind them. Get behind Weave Dog. The 3-2 pitch to Lau. Lau pops that up, and that ball will go out of play. Yep. As BB is saying, clap, clap, stomp, stomp. Do all that stuff. The 3-2 pitch against the Lau. Weaver into his windup. The pitch misses with the changeup and it walks him.
Well,
2 walks in this inning for Luke Weaver. And now Brian Reynolds is up to bat. Justin Willard out here to pitch to Luke Weaver.
Wait, is this allowed? He's been doing this all day. This is allowed?
I know. I've been confused too. It's weird.
I've never seen this shit happen before in my life.
It's very weird to see this happen. I mean, I thought you were supposed to sign like autographs or something, but
Yeah.
rather walk loud than see him hit a homer. I mean, Reynolds is a dangerous hitter too, so you know.
Reynolds is dangerous, yes. But Justin Wilpooks gives his conference. And hopefully
Reynolds is 4 for 10 against Luke Weaver in his career with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs. So definitely does see him well.
Maybe he shouldn't have walked Lau. Okay. Well, that's not good.
Here's the first pitch to Reynolds. And he fouls off that changeup, 0-1. 121 of you guys watching the stream right now. As always, thank you guys for your support. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and follow us. Like we always say, our links are and our Twitter handles are all below in the description. We'll bringing you watch-alongs almost every single day from now till the end of the season. The 0-1 pitch to Reynolds. Beautiful fastball placement. Gets ahead of him 0-2. Wasted. You can waste a pitch here if you want. You gotta go after him with a changeup.
I'm going high heat.
You could do, I mean, either or. Low changeup or high heat.
Up the ladder. Luke. Just don't hit him.
Yeah.
Up the ladder.
Weaver into his windup. The 0-2 pitch. And he just foul tipped it.
Did he get it?
He just foul tipped it, yeah. He fouled it off. He called it Carson up and in with the heater, but he just made contact with it. And Terrence couldn't hold it off.
Squeeze it, Terrence. Wow. Pops is pissed. Look at him.
Come on. 0-2 pitch. And Reynolds fielded. Bichette over to second base. Inning over. Weaver is able to escape the jam. Semien, Benj, and Terrence up now for the chance for the Mets to walk off this ball game. So
the second straight day. Could we have some fireworks?
Get those donuts. It's donut time. Yep, nice job by Bo there. I clenched up really hard right there for that play.
Well, we're usually very loose when it comes to like Brazaban out there on the mound, but
clench your butt cheeks. Clench your butt cheeks, everybody.
Weaver. So Dennis Santana gets the 9th here.
Yep.
All right. Don't go to extras, please.
Vientos will pinch hit for Benj again.
Probably not. No.
No, I don't imagine, because who's going to be your
Alvarez will pinch hit if they get anybody on.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, who's even on the bench?
You've got
to play the outfield.
Taylor.
Oh yeah, I forgot Taylor. Yeah. So technically you could, but I don't know if they will. All right. Come on. McLean with a nice day for his first outing of the season.
Not bad. Unfortunately, he did give up some runs. So career over. But sometimes you have to go with consolation, all right? and raise a regular season champions banner into the rafters. Sometimes you got to do that. It's very important. You're obligated to do it.
Yeah. All right, Dennis Santana out here for the Pirates. As I said, has worked all 3 of the games in the series, and Marcus Semien will lead off. Semien goes after that cutter and misses 0-1 with the slider. The 0-1 pitch. Semien cracks that ball out to center field, but Cruz will get under it. 1 out.
God damn it.
And yep, Benj will be up here to hit.
They're trusting the youngster here.
Alvey should only be used if there's... Yeah, I agree with this. All right, here's the first pitch to Benj. Lays off that high fastball. 1-0. I don't know. I think if Benj gets on with a walk, though, I would... Jared Young's on deck to hit. Why?
I'm going to make a wild guess here.
Benj swings and misses at that changeup. 1-1. The 1-1. Fastball just catches the corner. 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Benj. Takes that slider in on the hands. 2-2. Good take. Come on, Carson. The 2-2 pitch. And Benj drives that ball out to left field, but Magnum will be able to get under that to make the second out of the inning. Now Jared Young will come into pinch hit for Luis Torrens.
Yay! My favorite.
And everyone's favorite, Richard Lovelady, warming up in the bullpen for the Mets.
Oh, yay. Just woohoo!
I hope Jared Young walks it off right here, BBA, but I don't know. All right, Santana up against Jared Young. First pitch, Young lays off that high fastball, up and away, 1-0. Good take. Santana into his wind-up the pitch. Fastball just catches the corner, 1-1. Good call there by the umpire. The 1-1 pitch. Young fouls off that pitch. 1-2.
Yeah, it looks like Young has never faced Santana. I was like, oh, maybe he's faced him in like the minors or something because they both have been flip-floppers. But
the 1-2 pitch. Good take by Young. Takes that fastball in his hands. 2-2. Come on, Jared. Do it for Canada.
Go, Canada. Do it for the silver medal.
Do it for Sam Carrick. 2-2 pitch. Young fouls it off. Stays in that bat. 2-2. Marlins walk off the Rockies. That's
The
not
fish?
a shocker. 2-2.
Marlins, Rockies.
And Young swings and misses at that breaking ball. We head to extra innings again.
Fuck.
Back-to-back days of extra innings baseball.
Cardiac Mets.
And Richard Lovelady will take the mound.
Is Rayleigh
See.
just dead? Did they
I
kill
don't
him or
know.
something?
But he'll face, because Reynolds made the last out, so he'll face O'Hearn, Triolo, and what's his name? Came into pinch hit for Spencer Horwitz.
Did Rayleigh have like a meeting to go to or something?
Yeah, he had a meeting. Oh, he had a meeting, all right.
Yeah, did he?
And Nick York, yeah, because he came into pinch hit.
Oh God, love lady.
Definitely going to be 3-2 men. Brandon, what's going on? Didn't need the stress today, but here we are. Dick better have had his blue chew. Torrens would have homered. Maybe. Blue chew, Viagra.
You got two guys left on the bench. Francisco Alvarez comes in to replace Jared Young, batting ninth and playing catcher. As we all kind of expected, I think. So Alvarez will catch Dickie Lovelady. This is not going to end well. We all know it's not going to. So let's all just, you know what? Let's all just clap and give ourselves a round of applause that we fought hard.
Brian Reynolds is the ghost runner here for the Pirates as he made the last out.
Yeah, Reynolds
Ryan
is the ghost
O'Hearn
runner.
will lead off. The first pitch here by Lovelady. Gets that pitch in the zone. 0-1.
Famous Mendoza punt game. You don't really have anybody left, dude. I don't know what to tell you. You got nobody available. Like, they might as well just pitch this fucking guy's arm off.
So he'll be DFA tomorrow.
Possibly.
And O'Hearn lines that ball up the middle. Base hit. Brian Reynolds will come down to
Robert?
score. And the Pirates will take a 3-2 lead.
Yep. All right.
Just hold it to 3-2, and then hope the offense comes through.
You've got 1, 2, and 3 due up. So. Yeah, it's either you go to Lovelady or you put Freddie Peralta out there. So I think you're like, again, there's like nothing you can do.
Lovelady gets ahead of Triolo, 0-1.
Even though I think Rayleigh should be available, but I guess
Misses,
he's not.
1-1.
I guess he's not. I guess he's at a meeting.
A certain meeting.
I think he stormed to that meeting.
A meeting with fire.
Yes.
Lovelady misses low and away, 2-1. Yeah, if they had a day off tomorrow, that would have definitely helped because you would have definitely used Rayleigh, but they got to go to St. Louis tomorrow. Lovelady gets Trill to swing and miss at that high fastball, 2-2.
I just don't want to see Brandon Lau again. He's annoying. Unless it's in a Mets uniform.
The 2-2 pitch. And
Give us
Justin.
that. Come on, dude.
Come on, man.
Come on. Not again. Not today.
Full count here to Triolo.
Come on. Double play, please. I know I'm asking for too much.
And
Oh!
Hey, Lindor over to Semien, over to first. Double play. Just what the doctor ordered. Good job, Carson. Good job, Carson.
I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. I'm also an astronaut. I have a lot of occupations.
And a dentist.
Log on to find out.
And a janitor. And a yoga instructor.
This position is called the willowing tree.
You also know how to use dryers correctly, so you don't get stuck.
I am an appliance expert. I work at Sears.
All right. Nick York up the bat. Love Lady behind 1-0. Misses 2-0. It's 2-0. Misses.
Jesus Christ, dude. He's such a dick.
Three and 0 here to Nick York, and he misses away. 4-pitch walk.
And this is why you were named Dick. Pinch runner Billy Cook comes in to replace Nick York. Actually real people. Billy Cook and Nick York. All right, sure.
All right, Nick Gonzalez up here to face Dickie Lovelady. Misses high with the slider, 1-0. He's such a dickhead, man. I can't. Bro, throw it in the fucking strike zone.
Oh my god, dude. This guy stinks.
Fuck.
Go out
2-0.
there, Justin. Just go out there. Look at this. Look at this initiative. Do you see this? Hey, pitcher down south.
Yeah.
Pitching coach down south. You see this shit? Take some fucking notes, Teflon shithead. Sorry, I'm getting too excited about mound visits. Been just watching this for 6 fucking years. Willard, yeah! How many times has he visited the mound? 5 times today?
Something like that.
That's more than Jeremy Hefner in 2 months.
Thank you. Gonzalez swings and misses at that fastball, 2-1. Just hold it at 3-2.
That's all I ask. You almost picked him off.
I mean, it still is a winnable game, NG. You have the top of the order and up next.
Yeah.
With a runner
the only
at
problem
second.
is you're gonna have the mini fridge at second base because he came in. He's bad.
Oh my god, dude.
Three 3-1.
3-1. Fouls it off. 3-2. Full count. Runner will be moving.
Yeah. Well, we got
Jose-
2 batters ahead of. Oh,
Jose Urquidy.
Jose Urquidy. Okay.
Please get him out.
For God's sake, Richard.
The 3-2 pitch, and he fucking walks him.
Yeah, it's fuck this guy, bro. Seriously. We still don't know why he was put on this team. I mean, we do know why, but
All right. Oh my fucking! Do you just want to walk in another run? Do you want to do that?
yes.
Yeah, I keep on swearing because this dick is pissing me off.
He's awful. He's fucking awful, man.
Swings and misses. 1-1.
DFA.
This fucking asshole, I swear to God.
What a loser. What a fucking loser this guy is.
Fucking bum. Fucking bum.
Unbelievable.
You had the fucking double play perfectly. All you had to do was just not fucking walk anybody. And here you go.
Yep. Last game he was almost out of the woods, and then that dribbler happened.
Oh, what are you doing? He threw a strike. Wow.
Yay! What a joke, man.
Magnum tries a bunt, fouls it off, 0-2. Pisses me off. Give up the 1 run, fine. I'm fine with that. That was expected.
The bases were literally empty after that.
But that's
it's like
he
created the whole thing. Like
that second run is unexcusable.
Fucking loser, man. Throw a fucking strike! Jesus Christ!
Fouled it off. Still 1-2.
Fucking loser.
The 1-2 pitch. Wow.
There it is. There it is. Where was that last batter?
Fucking loser.
He's so good, man. So glad he's here.
They still have a chance to win this game, but hell of a lot harder now.
Oh my God. And this is all because Rayleigh had to go to a meeting. I'm sorry. It's not a laughing matter, but it's just like, seriously, why is this guy pitching 2 days in a row in the first week of the season? It's classic. Really is. Unbelievable.
But we head to the bottom of the 10th.
I think it's just familiarity. That's literally it. Like, I really think it is. At this point, I don't know why the hell he's on this fucking roster, but Whatever.
He better be DFA'd after today. I swear to God. I mean, Armand, that's a huge issue in its own right. Like the offense, if they don't come through here, they're going to take a lot of blame for this game. But again, like, if Lovelady only gave up the one run, which was the ghost runner, I would have been fine with it because again, it's expected. But he created that whole other fucking run by himself.
Yeah. Exactly. He had the double play. He got the double play, got 2 outs right after that leadoff hit that scored the run. Then he walks the guy. Then they go, what is it, first to third or whatever, and then he gives up another hit.
Yeah,
he just like, come on. That's what they would do last year. Can't fucking finish the inning. Unreal. But no, the offense definitely takes a lot of blame today too. Top of the order. So if there's anybody that can administer 2 runs, it would be the top of the order, right? Some may say.
Jose Creedy on the pitch here for the Pirates. Francisco Alvarez is the ghost runner.
Okay.
And Lindor, Soto, and Bichette will be up to hit for the Mets.
I thought I saw Taylor on that big screen just there. I was like, what? You have no catcher.
Billy Cook into right field.
Who the hell is Billy Cook? That's not a real person.
Come on, Lindor. He's had a good day. He's had a good game so far today, but need him to come through here.
Still creating problems in the clubhouse. So
if the Pirates can get 2 runs, then the Mets can do it here too.
They could too, man. Why not us?
Lindor with another good take, 2-0. Come on, Francisco. The 2-0 pitch. Takes that fastball at the knees, 2-1. Lindor calls time. The 2-1 count to Lindor. The pitch. Of course, that gets the inside. Very nice changeup. 2-2.
Tied him up there.
MJ, what is going on? Watching right now this series, but Jake Mangum is an underrated player in my opinion.
He's carved out a good career for himself so far. Yeah. He's carved himself out a good career.
The 2-2 pitch. Lindor fouls off that changeup. Still 2-2.
And the Mets traded him for Jeff Brigham and Eliezer Hernandez. Dog.
Woof.
Many men wish death upon me. Fucking loser.
2-2 pitch to Lindor. Oh, wow. Oof.
Terrible frame.
3-2 pitch. Very nice take there by Lindor. Full count.
It's a big league take.
Come on, Francisco. That was a strike.
It was. That's the thing. It's a terrible frame.
Beautiful AB there by Lindor. Draws the walk. First and second here for the Mets with Juan Soto up.
Quan, if you can hear me.
Man or mouse?
Quan, I beg you. Please, Quan.
Man or mouse? Juan Soto. Come on, Juan. And he swings. That ball's going to get into the gap. Multiple runners are going to come in. Alvarez will come in to score. Lindor, is he coming in to score? He's out.
Ooh. Oh, he might be hurt.
and he's out. Alvarez comes in to score, but I think you got to challenge it, though.
You might as well.
You got to challenge that.
Go ahead and challenge it, but is he all right? God. Lindor, I one day.
He's out. He's out. Yeah, he's out.
I one day. I think we all wish to have the pain tolerance of Francisco Lindor. I think we all do. Juan Soto, marry me.
All right, 4-3.
Still a runner in scoring position. It's up to Bo. I heard my dad screaming while it was happening downstairs. I mean, go ahead and look at it. I mean, Cohen, if you want to slip a $50 bill to New York right now, you could. I know you can flush him easily. But, yeah, you do have to challenge it, but he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
100%.
Unless they're saying that he blocked the plate, but I don't think he did.
I think he did, personally. Did he block the plate?
No.
You have to have the ball first. That's not conclusive enough. It's not.
No.
Nope. At least Lindor's okay. That's all I care about. Whew. God.
Come on, Bo.
Bo. Be Bo.
Be Pooks.
Flip the narrative here. Flip it.
I know they want to be aggressive, and I appreciate them want to be aggressive, but should have held them up because
that was a great throw, man. Great throw.
Yeah.
The dart. Actually, okay throw. It was on the money though.
They should have held them up because then a sac fly ties up the game.
Yep. I like the aggressiveness by Leaper.
No shot. They fired Bruce Cassidy.
Huh? Of course this happens right now.
Why they did. They named Torts head coach?
Oh, God. It's a clown show in Vegas. It's time for the Raiders to take over. All right.
All right, Bichette takes that
no way in hell,
1-0.
What the hell? How does he keep getting jobs?
The 1-0 and Bichette be ground cleanly. Moves over the runner, but now it's 2 outs.
And this is why Richard Lovelady should be castrated. Fuck, man.
Now Polanco up with a chance to tie the ball game. Come on, Polanco. And Polanco swings. Is that going to be deep enough? It's going to carry at the wall. Caught. And the Pirates will win the ball game.
Oh, God. Fuck Dick Lovelady. I want him out of here right now. No, it's not an overreaction. Kiss my ass.
The Mets suffer their first loss of the year. They will not go 162-0. They do win the series, but it's a disappointing end to the series. They should have swept. They should have swept the Pirates. No excuses. But, yeah. As always, guys, thank you for the watch along. We will now go into a 9-minute intermission. We will set up everything for the post game, and we will be right back. So, see you guys in a bit. All right, everybody, and we are back live on YouTube and on X for post-game coverage of Mets versus Pirates Game 3 of 162 for this regular season. But first and foremost, make sure to subscribe to live episodes of the Mets Weekly Podcast following every single regular season series. For those of you watching on playback and want to join the conversation in the future, make sure to turn on post notifications to not miss when we go live for the next game, which is tomorrow at 7:45, where the Mets will take on the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis. Make sure to follow Mets Weekly on X and TikTok. Follow us individually. The links are all down below in the description as always. But guys, unfortunately, the Mets, they suffer their first loss of the regular season. They will not be going 162-0 this year. But while they do lose to the Pirates to finish out this series, they do end up taking the series, which, listen, as a result, when you look as a whole in a baseball season, the most important thing is that you want to win series. Now, I said last time on the post-game show, and I'm sure, both Carson and Evan and a bunch of you guys in the chat agree, I know that all of us wanted sweeps. I said, quote unquote, there's no, there's no excuse to not sweep the Pirates. And listen, let's be honest. The Mets didn't deserve to win this game. They didn't play well at all. Pitching wise, for the most part, they were good. Apart from one guy, which we'll get to when we break down this game. But the thing that's hurting this team right now, and we were all excited about it on opening day when this offense knocked out Paul Skeens in the first inning of this game. And again, it's a small sample size, so I'm not going to go over the top crazy and say that, this guy sucks and this guy's not good anymore. And, we need to change up everything now. But, I think we can all be honest that the offense so far in 2 out of 3 games has not been good. They were able to cope with it in last night's game and hold it into a spot where it got to Luis Robert in the bottom of the 11th to where he could walk it off and win this ball game. But the Mets had a lot of chances to win this ball game, and the offense did not come through. And obviously, we'll get to the whole breakdown, and we'll break down everyone on the roster right now and through the batting lineup. But again, when you look at the numbers, runners in scoring position, the Mets went 2 for 10, and they left 8 runners on base. You're not going to win ball games like that. And listen, I understand that the Pirates are not the best team in Major League Baseball. But they do have a good enough offense to where if you let them hang around in a game and you give them just a little bit of life, they're going to take that opportunity and they're going, they're going to score runs and they're going to put themselves in a position where they could potentially steal a ball game away like they did from the New York Mets today. So, listen, credit to the Pirates. Other than that first game, which even then in that first game, they did put up a good fight, but the Pirates played a really good series against the Mets, in this 3-game set. I'm not going to sit here and lie. The Mets, they were losing in every single one of these games. They trailed. They trailed in the first game right off the rip. They trailed in the second game at one point, and then they spent, I want to say, a large part trailing today, but there was large parts where they were trailing, and then there was points where it was tied, and then obviously we'll talk about what happened in the 10th inning with a certain relief pitcher that should never be on this roster ever again. But look, like I said, is it the end of the world that the Mets lost to the Pirates? No. Obviously, like I said, they did their job in which they took a series win, which of course is the most important thing in Major League Baseball. You play a bunch of series throughout a 162 regular season schedule. The most important thing is you want to win as many series as possible. Obviously, you do want to sweep some series as well, but it's unfortunate. But now the Mets too head out to St. Louis tomorrow, or they'll head out tonight. But to start a 3-game set tomorrow in St. Louis. Like I said earlier, first pitch will be 7:45 p.m. But let's get into the actual breakdown now of this game. We have the post-game recap now. So obviously, the Mets lose to the Pirates 4-3. The Pirates improve their record to 1-2. The Mets fall to 2-1 on the season. The win goes to Dennis Santana. His record improves to 1-0. Dickie Lovelady will take the loss. More on Dickie Lovelady in a second. His record falls to 1-1, and then Jose Urquidy takes the save as he gets his first save of the year. Going through now both the offensive batting orders. O'Neal Cruz ends up going 1-for-4. Brandon Lau, he goes 2-for-3. He had another good game today against the Mets. Brian Reynolds, he goes 3-for-5. Brian O'Hearn goes 3-for-5. Brandon Triolo goes 0-for-3. Spencer Horowitz goes 0-for-3. Nick York came in to pinch hit and play right field later on in the game. He ended up walking. Cook came in as a defensive replacement. Nick Gonzalez, he went 0-for-4. Davis, he went 1-for-4. And then Jake Magnum, the former Met, he went 0-for-4. Over to the Mets side, the first two guys in the order had a pretty good day. Francisco Lindor, he went 2-for-4. Juan Soto, he went 2-for-3, even though he had one bad swing decision, which ultimately could have cost the Mets this game. Bo Bichette, though, and we'll talk about him more, but he goes 0-for-5. Jorge Polanco, he had a rough day to play. Almost ended up walking off the game in the bottom of the 10th inning. Just missed a home run by a couple of inches. Luis Robert, another strong game by him. He went 2-for-3 today. Brett Beatty, strong game from him today. He went 2-for-4. Marcus Semien, rough day to play, 0-for-3. Carson Bench, same thing, rough day to play, 0-for-4. Luis Torrens, he had a decent day at the plate, 1-for-3. Jared Young came in to pitch hit. He went 0-for-1. And Francisco Alvarez would come in later in the game to play defense and as the pinch runner, but he did not register an at bat in this game. Over now to the pitching lines. Młodzinski for the Pirates, he went 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts on 85 pitches. He had a very nice day today against the Mets. They had a hard time seeing him and hitting him. Johan Ramirez then came in. He pitched an inning and 2/3. Only 1 walk, 2 strikeouts on 22 pitches. Mason Montgomery came in. He had a very good inning. He pitched 1 inning, gave up the 2 hits, but then came back to strike 3 guys out to get through that inning. Ian Matson came on. He pitched an inning of scoreless relief with 2 strikeouts. Then Dennis Santana came in. Again, he pitched a scoreless inning of work out of the bullpen with 1 strikeout. And then Jose Urquidy came in, gave up the 1 run, the run was not charged to him as that was the ghost runner. Francisco Alvarez, he pitched 1 inning of work, 1 hit, 1 walk on 11 pitches. Over to the Mets side, Nolan McLean, he had a very nice day. Today. Pitched 5 1/3. He pitched just 5 innings completely with 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 84 pitches. And look, overall for Nolan McLean, it was a solid first outing. Obviously, was he the Nolan McLean that we saw last year where he was completely sharp and he was dotting everything in the zone? No, he had some struggles with his command early on in the game, specifically with both his fastball and his sweeper. There was a couple times where Justin Willard had to come out to the mound to kind of, calm him down and get him back on track, which, again, like I mentioned throughout the watch along multiple times, it is nice to see that the Mets finally do have a pitching coach that actually goes out and takes initiative. But, yeah, I mean, listen, with Nolan McLean, like I said, he had a couple walks, surrendered the first run in this ball game in the first inning after an O'Neal Cruz walk and a Brandon Lau walk. Ryan O'Hearn would single the first run in to give the Pirates a 1-0 lead, but then he got the next 2 out, got a Triolo to fly out, got Spencer Horowitz to line out. He then came back with a strong second inning, got Gonzalez to strike out, got Henry Davis to ground out, got Jake Magnum to ground out. Third inning, again, had a little bit of trouble, got O'Neal Cruz to ground out, gave up the home run to Brandon Lau, which, again, Brandon Lau has just been a thorn in the Mets side this entire series, ended up hitting 3 home runs. But then after that, he settled down. Well, he kind of settled down because he got Brian Reynolds to ground out, gave up a single to Ryan O'Hearn, hit Jared Triolo with a pitch, and then struck out Spencer Horowitz. And then after that, McLean seemed to finally, get into a rhythm because top of the 4th, he had a 1-2-3 inning, got Gonzalez to ground out, got Henry Davis to fly out, got Jake Magnum to strike out. And then the top of the 5th, got O'Neal Cruz to strike out. Brandon Lau hit a double, but then he struck out Brian Reynolds and struck out Ryan O'Hearn as well. So overall, like I said, not the sharpest from Nolan McLean. Like I said, did struggle a little bit early in the game for his sinker/4 seam and his sweeper command because he was missing a lot, especially arm side with that sinker and the 4-seamer. He just had a lot of run and ride on that pitch per se. But overall, for his first outing for the season, I'd say if I had to grade it, I'd give it overall B+. He was solid, wasn't great, but overall he did his job and kept the Mets in the bowl game. Huascar Brasban then came on after that. He pitched an inning and 2/3, no hits, no earned runs, 0 walks, 0 Ks on 14 pitches. Brasban was elite, and he was effective. He was throwing strikes consistently in the strike zone, and, anytime the Pirates did make contact on any of his pitches, it was soft contact. So Huascar Brazoban, pitched really well yesterday, pitched really well again today, carrying over his good work from the World Baseball Classic with the DR. And listen, we saw how well of a reliever Brazoban was last year for the Mets. The problem was they just ran him to the ground. So hopefully if the Mets can keep Brazoban rested and they don't run him to the ground this year, hopefully Brazoban is just an effective weapon out of the Mets bullpen this entire year. Sean Manaea came out of the bullpen today, and he was okay. Struggled a little bit with his command. He pitched an inning and a third, gave up 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts on 29 pitches. So overall, not a terrible day for Manaea, but you want to see him a little bit better. You want to see the command be a little bit better, and you want to see, of course, the velo be a little bit better, because Manaea's velo was still a little bit down. Well, not a little bit down. It was down. I mean, he was hitting, his fastball 88 miles an hour consistently. You want to see a lot better from that. Luke Weaver then came in, had a little bit of trouble with his command, but he worked an inning, gave up no hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, but was able to get a strikeout and was able to work out of that jam on 22 pitches. And then Dickie Lovelady. Where do I start with this guy, right? Because listen, I'm not going to blame this whole game on Dickie Lovelady, because the offense needs to be a lot better. But this is where I will blame Dickie Lovelady. Because, listen, obviously, we go to the top of the 10th. A lot of the relievers were used in yesterday's game because that game also went into extra innings. And obviously, there are talks that, maybe the Mets could have used Brooks Raley in this situation because, again, he's a lefty and he only pitched yesterday. I would have went with Raley, but Mendoza goes to Lovelady. Again, don't agree with it per se, but the decision is made. And I don't have a problem with Lovelady, and I'm not going to go after him for allowing the first run, which was Rhino Hearn. No, I'm sorry, which was who was the ghost? Yeah, Brian Reynolds. I'm not going to get mad at him for allowing Brian Reynolds to come around to score, which was the ghost runner on the Ryan O'Hearn RBI single, because I expected 1 run to at least come across. What pisses me off about Richard Lovelady is after that, he gets Jared Triolo to ground into a double play, and you're like, okay, if you could just hold the lead now at 3-2, or if you could hold the deficit now at 3-2, you now have Alvarez as the ghost runner, and now you have the top of the order in Lindor, Soto, and Bichette to come up with a chance to tie and win this ball game. Instead, what does Dickie Lovelady do? Well, in typical Dickie Lovelady fashion, he walks Nick York, walks Nick Gonzalez, and then allows Henry Davis to hit a single up the middle to drive in another run to make it 4-2. And then he decided to get Jake Magnum to strike out to end that inning. Which, again, listen, is it still a winnable? Is the game still a winnable? Is the game still winnable for the Mets at this point? 100%, absolutely. But like I said, Dickie Lovelady cannot, especially after you get the double play, you cannot allow another run to come across in that game. And just terrible work from Lovelady. Again, and I'm sure Carson, Frank, and Andrew will talk about it on the podcast tomorrow, which will wrap up the 3-game series against the Pirates. I never, ever want to see Dickie Lovelady put on a Mets uniform again. He can go somewhere else for all I care. He can pitch in the major leagues. I don't care. It can't be here, though, because he's terrible. He was terrible last year, and once again, he pitched all right yesterday, but today, inexcusable. Again, I am not going to blame him for the 3rd run, but that 4th run, after you get the double play on Triolo, cannot come across. Simple as that. Simple as that. But guys, the other thing that we have to talk about, Bo Bichette. Listen, we all knew with Bo Bichette that there might be some growing pains and there might be some adjustments. Obviously, signed that big-term, short-term deal with the Mets in the offseason. He's making $42 million a year. He's playing a new position. He's switching leagues. Never played in the National League. Obviously, he played his entire career so far in the AL with the Toronto Blue Jays. But Bo Bichette right now looks lost. And look, am I fully concerned about Bo Bichette in the long term? No, absolutely not. And guys, we were talking about this on the watch along. Unless Bo Bichette, his struggles are going to continue into late May, early June, then I will continue to be then I will be worried about Bo Bichette. But we do have a special guest joining us, Evan. He is joining us from the car. I'm just going to mute him in a second because it's a little loud, but I will allow him to talk after. But yeah, it's just with Bo, again, I'm not concerned about him in the long run. It's just right now he looks lost at the plate. And listen, because I know we were all talking about it, that Bo, he looks very aggressive right now at the plate. He's swinging early in the count. He's swinging over fastballs. And look, like I said before, Bo Bichette, he's always been an aggressive hitter at the plate. And again, I don't have a problem with that. I think you need guys in a lineup to be aggressive. The problem is with Bichette right now is just he's not seeing any pitches right now, and he's over swinging and he's over committing to way too many pitches, and he's being way too aggressive, and he just doesn't look overall comfortable in the batter's box right now. And again, maybe does adjusting to the third base to playing third base, does that maybe have a correlation to that? It might. There might also be a correlation that this is the first time that he's seeing a lot of these pitchers, because again, he spent his whole career in the American League with the Toronto Blue Jays. And again, like I said, I think Bichette will be fine in the long run, both defensively and offensively. However, right now, I think the Mets, and again, this is not an overreaction, but I think right now going to St. Louis, I think the Mets should just make a slight tweak to the batting order. And I'll say it, and I know Evan's going to agree with me in a little bit, because with how well Luis Robert has been hitting so far, my one little switch, and again, Evan will comment on it about in a second, but I would switch and move up Robert up to third, batting third, and then move Bichette down and have him hit fifth. That's my adjustment for now. Just give him a little bit less pressure to worry about. Let him just find himself and let him get into a groove. Like I said, I think Bichette will be fine. It's clear that he's not comfortable right now, and he's overswinging. And again, it's just all about making adjustments. But Evan, you were at the game. You had to see that loss. Thoughts on the game?
Frustrating, especially because it's similar to what we saw in yesterday's game, where they had their opportunities, especially with the top of the order. And like you said, with Bo Bichette, it's not good at bats. Like, that's really the bottom line. That's the problem in all of this. It's one thing for me if the at bats he was taking, he was making contact, even if he was being aggressive, and he was popping out, he was grounding out, which he did on a few. But these are not even competitive at bats where he's not driving up the pitch count. He's barely even fouling it off outside of that one at bat in the first game where it was 13 pitches or whatever.
Yeah.
All he's doing is he's not seeing the ball well. And for a guy that you brought in to produce with runners in scoring position, to give you the RBIs when Lindor and Soto get on base, he's failing at his job. And for right now, I was just talking about it with Steven, who's in the car with me right now. I was saying that I would not mind if two different things. One, because you touched on it a bit before, I wouldn't mind if they gave a day for Bo Bichette to just DH, get his head out of the field, and let him just simply focus on hitting and see if that helps. And then, like you also said, the lineup, there needs to be a change. And to me, I would do two changes right now, because I would move Robert to the 3-hole and bump Bichette down. I would also switch, just because of the way Beatty's hitting right now compared to Polanco. I would put Beatty in the cleanup spot for a few games. Sorry, Carson, I know you don't want to hear that if you're watching backstage. And I would put Polanco down the lineup a bit. I'm not as adamant about moving Polanco down. I don't think you have to, but it's something I would at the very least experiment with. But yeah, I mean, just frustrating, especially because you look at the names that the Pirates were throwing out there on the mound throughout this game, and those are guys that this offense should be able to take advantage of. And we saw a lot of poor swing decisions from Lindor earlier on in the game, and then you have the poor base running there at the end, which I don't know if he was sent or if Lindor made the decision to go there. But whoever's decision that was, very head-scratching, because you had an opportunity there, second and third with nobody out. Do you not trust Bo Bichette that you are that desperate to try and cross the plate there? Are we already at that point with Bichette where you don't trust him, that you feel it's urgent to get that run compared to having Bichette up there with 2 on and nobody out? That was just also mind-boggling to me. Bullpen-wise, I questioned a lot throughout this game. Brooks Raley not being available, head-scratcher. But if Brooks Raley's not available, and you know that, why are you either not pushing Manaea to go another inning, or why are you not having Lovelady start that 9th inning without the extra runner on base, and then you bring in Luke Weaver to start extra innings? I don't know. There were just a lot of head-scratching moments for me in this game. Ultimately, they were going to lose a game at some point. It is what it is. At least you take 2 out of 3 against the Pirates. But it's just frustrating when games like this are winnable, and this offense that, we expect different from, and I'm not saying that we're not going to get different later in the season, but for right now, it's frustrating that for 2 straight games, we've seen now similar traits from similar guys, especially, again, Bo Bichette.
Yeah, I don't have a problem per se with starting Weaver in the 9th and then waiting to use Lovelady in the 10th, because I think, just looking at it from a Mets perspective, like, you want to be aggressive and you want to make sure that game gets to the bottom of the 9th tied. And, you have to at least from Mendoza's point of view, at least have some sort of trust in your offense to come through and win that ball game.
That's true.
Obviously they didn't in that situation, so it is what it is. But, and again, like, the Lovelady thing, again, I would have loved to see Raley in there. I guess they want to be careful with him, which I understand more why last year, but I'd figure that this year he'd be more off the leash and you could push him a little bit more. Obviously, we don't know what the in and outs are, with Raley and how he's feeling, physically, even though he had a full spring training to ramp up. So, I don't know, maybe they just don't want to push him early on the season. But it's like I said, and I don't know if you caught this portion, but my problem was, I didn't have a problem with Lovelady giving up the 3rd run, because I expected that the ghost runner most of the time is going to come across. Once he gets that double play on Triolo, you can't let another run come across, and that's my biggest issue.
Look at who he's walking in that order. I mean, it was Nick York that he had that 4-pitch walk to. I mean, come on. And just the lack of attacking hitters in general throughout this game annoyed me. I didn't know Jeremy Hefner was back, because even Noah McLean early in his start, and again, it ended up turning out to be a solid start, but he could have gave you an extra inning if he was aggressive earlier on, because he fell behind in counts way too much throughout the game, struggled to locate the sweeper, I felt like, the first inning or 2. And again, it put him behind in counts. The pitch count went up, and that also played a hand for why you had to use Lovelady, because it just ends up being that trickle-down effect. But it was just all game outside of Brazoban, which, he's always cleaning the dishes,
expected.
Always attacking. Yeah. But yeah, it just too much nibbling to guys that you shouldn't be nibbling the zone with.
With McLean, obviously, from where your perspective, you don't have like a full zone of this. You don't have a full view of the strike zone. He was attacking though. He just had way too much movement on his 4-seamer or 2-seamer / sinker, and he just kept missing arm side. So he was trying to be aggressive. He just had trouble locating it. Same with the sweeper. He was trying to throw that pitch for strikes. He just couldn't get that pitch over, especially in the first inning when he had those back-to-back walks. But other than that, I again, like, McLean was fine. Was he the sharpest? No, but he gave you a solid, reliable start. Would you have liked to see him go another inning? 100%. But for his first outing, I'm not going to sit here and go after him. He was solid.
Yeah, I mean, he was, again, I don't have a problem with the start overall, but I just felt early on I thought he was falling behind in counts way too much, and that was a problem. But I also
No,
get
yeah.
it. I also am not mad for where they pulled him, though. To me, that made perfect sense to not push him to like the 90 pitch count this early in the season.
Yeah, and then I mean, just looking at it later in the game, I mean, the point where probably they lost this game, beside obviously Dicky Lovelady come in and just fucking having explosive diarrhea on the mound, was that bottom of the seventh where Ben strikes out, Terens gets that little bunt single up the third baseline, Lindor then singles. You have the wild pitch to move up both Terens and Lindor into scoring position, and then Soto works a great at bat, gets it to 3-2, but that fastball, that high end fastball that he swung at, just was not great. And then the Bo Bichette strikeout as well, and he struck out on 3 pitches as well. So just again confirming that Bichette's just not seeing the ball well at all right now.
No, and yeah, it just failed at bats from your top 3 right now, and again, I get they're not going to come through all the time, but there are just these crucial spots, and it will turn around at some point. I want to make that very clear before, people in the chat start looking to rip my head off. But for right now, it's just frustrating to watch. And at the very least, I would make that change with Robert moving up the order just until Bichette's more comfortable and you start to see him seeing the ball well at the very least.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, of course, like, you get to the bottom of the 10th, Lindor had that great AB to draw the walk. Soto hits that double. I agree. Like, you have to hold Lindor there at third base because you got second and third there. And I know Bichette's been struggling, and I know he's been hitting a lot of ground balls. He's not hitting a lot of things into the air right now, which in that situation, a sacrifice fly ties the game. But it was just a dumb move to send Lindor there. Like, I think the third base coach told, I think it was a leap year or light year, he told him to go. But and again, I know we got on Mike Sarbaugh last year for not being aggressive, but there's situational where it's like, okay, just because you're not too aggressive in one situation doesn't mean you have to be over aggressive in that sense. And I mean, if it's second and third with no outs there, maybe the Mets do end up winning that ball game because even if Bichette, let's say, does ground out per se, Polanco had that deep fly out, so with an out right there, the Mets tied the ball game right there.
Yeah, and then another decision I questioned during this game is, what are we doing with Jared Young? Like, I don't understand why we're seeing this obsession from Mendoza where, right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter means we have to have a left-handed batter. If you're going to pull Terens in that spot, who he was taking good at-bats. Like, I didn't think they needed to pull Terens there either way. But if you're going to pull him, at the very least send Alvarez up there, who's also been putting together really good at-bats this year.
No, yeah, it should have been you either kept Terens in there to hit, which again, he had a decent day at the plate, or you go to Alvarez there. Like, Jared, again, like, I know why he's on the roster because there's no one else right now to fill out that final spot, but as soon as someone becomes available to take that final roster spot, Jared Young's got to go, along with Dicky Lovelady, which he'll be DFA tomorrow, and then probably within a week he'll be back because that's just how this shit works, but those two are just anchors at the bottom part of the roster.
Don't wish Dicky Lovelady back on this roster. I know it's going to happen, but I just can't with it. I can't with this guy.
But yeah, I mean, we pretty much got everything. Just going to go through the comments right now. Send Lovelady to the Long Island Ducks. I would love to send them somewhere else. I can't say it on stream, though. Pirates have good offensive additions. Really like Lowe as a hitter. That's Evans' guy. He's a big Brandon Lau guy. Bowen Polanco over 10, 4 Ks today. Not great by them. Myers should have been used instead of Lovelady. I would have loved to see Myers in this game, Armand. I just think they're saving him as a bulk guy. I don't think they want to use him as like a one inning guy. I think Mendoza's plan at least is to keep him stretched out. So just in case he ever has to be used as a starter, he could be used in that situation.
I think the other problem with going to Myers was you already used Minaya, and if you need another bulk guy for Holmes or Senga, and you're down Minaya and Myers in the next game, then you have another problem there. And I get, like, the whole thing, because I've said it before, that you can't think about tomorrow. You got to win the game in the moment, but it's also early in the season to where I get not getting overly aggressive in that regard, to where you don't want 2 off days, but then also the side of it where you use one bulk guy. Are you really going to use another one of your bulk guys today?
Yeah, agree with that. Ram offense lost the game. I mean, 100%. The numbers speak for themselves. 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, 8 men left on base. Again, against this Pirates team, which they have a decent offense, if you let them linger around the game, they're going to come back to strike, and they can take the lead, and they did that in the 10th inning. Hornet, should Lindor have been held at third? Yeah, he should have. Lovelady will probably be a DFA. He should. But, I mean, yeah, I think that is covered everything. Unless, Evan, you have any final thoughts? I know your kind of connections kind of in and out. Yeah, I think we lost them. All right. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today's post-game and watch-along stream. As always, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to subscribe to live episodes of the Mets Weekly podcast following every single regular season series. For those of you watching on playback and want to join the conversation in the future, make sure to turn on post notifications to not miss when we go live for the next game, which is tomorrow at 7:45 where the Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Clay Holmes will be on the mound for the Mets. Make sure to follow Mets Weekly on X, TikTok. Follow us individually. The links are all below in the description. Also, final reminder, tomorrow, what's it called? Tomorrow, Carson, Andrew, and Frank will be doing a podcast to wrap up everything. So, or you have to wrap up this whole series. So, yeah, catch them. I don't know what time they're going to go live. I think Carson said maybe 5 o'clock. But, yeah, around there, 5 o'clock. And then we'll be back on here at 7:45 or 7:35 for first pitch where the Mets take on the St. Louis Cardinals. But anyway, guys, let's go Mets. And we'll see you next time.